Raul Meza, driver of the number 37 Pro Chevrolet, driving for Warrior Racing Esports out of Los Angeles, California.
Brandon Black, driver of the 17 Team Watson Racing Setups Toyota Tundra from Macon, Missouri.
Adam Newton, driver of the number 19 DSR Swim Motorsports truck.
Joey the Joker Doucette, driver of the number 16, in memory of my mom, Chevrolet, from Oakland, Maine, for Upfront Motorsports.
Zach Hartwick, driver of the number 38, on the pole, Toyota, Grand Blanc, Michigan, and I forgot my helmet.
Brian Chu, driver of the number 51 DSR electric Toyota out of Fort Myers, Florida, for Sick Witted Motorsports.
I'm Phil Pappas, driver of the 85 Chevrolet Silverado for BP Racing for Autism.
Lucas Whitehead, driver of the number 33 Chevy Silverado for Mission 1 Esports from Roan Mountain, Tennessee. Go Vols.
Out of Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Nathan Mallory, driver of the 971 DSR electric Toyota TRD.
Chris Blanchard, number 9, Upfront Motorsports, Blanchard's Towing Chevrolet.
Justin White, driver of the Sick With It Motorsports, number 2, Concerns of Police Survivors, Toyota Tundra TRD.
Robert Richards, driver of the 48 Timberland Toyota Tacoma out of Gastonia, North Carolina, Mission 1 Esports.
Dean Doucette, number 55, Nazareth 360 Racing Network, Toyota, London, Ontario, Canada, part of Mission 1 Esports.
I'm Chris Cinnamon, driver of the number 3 Upfront Motorsports Ford. Here's my crew chief and spotter, Turbo. We're from Fort McMurray, Alberta.
Mark Morton, driver of the number 8 Scooters Coffee Chevy Silverado for Team Warrior Racing.
Jose Luis Rivera, driver of the number 20, the All-Star race winner himself, will be trying to get a championship for Depp Racing. Let's get it.
Matthew David Wood, driver of the number 21 NJB Design Chevrolet for Highline Racing. God bless you all and go Mountaineers.
Hi, Jeff Merck, driver of the number 60 Chevy Silverado for Upfront Motorsports, Punta Gorda, Florida.
Keith Bradley, driver of the Indy Race Parts Dan's Top Notch Heating Cooling number 29 Toyota Tundra from Lawrenceburg, Indiana.
Good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Montreal with a Hot Lap 135 for the C.O.P.S Truck Series. Tonight I will be announcing Brady LaBeouf here with Daniel, and Dean also will be chiming in with me to give me some help. We look at the grid right now. We got Matthew Wood, who turned in the pole lap. And then you got Nate Maurer on the outside row. Keith Bradley starting third, Justin Whitehead fifth, Dean Doucette sixth, Phil Pappas seventh, Adam Newton eighth, Brandon Bullock ninth, Chris Cinnamon's going to round out that fifth row in 10th, Stephen Thomas is going to be 11th, Jose Luis Rivera is going to be outside 6th row in 12th, and we'll see if we can get some more results here. Nathan Scott comes in 13th. Chris Blanchard. Blanchard's towing in the 14th hole. 15th spot, Brandon Broadfoot. 16th, Brian Chu. 17th, Ed Osborne. And 18th, Joey Doucette. 19th, Mark Morton for Warrior. And then Stephen Gregory is going to be race controlling tonight in 20th. So that's going to be Robbie Richards 21st. Raul Meza 22nd. Cody Knott 23rd. And Hunter Parsons in 24th is also race controlling. So that's two guys we got right there. Jeff Merck. Actually, Jeff Merck for Upfront Motorsports was not allowed to qualify from a previous penalty a couple of weeks ago at Daytona. So he'll be starting in the back. See, look at him to come all the way up to the front. I know he was fast in practice. Hug Wigginton's going to be in 26. Tyler Daniels in 27th, and rounding out the field will be Zach Partwick in 28th. Daniel, trucks at Montreal. What do you think about that, man?
That one, absolutely fantastic combination, and it is my first time here with the Nazareth team. It's going to be an absolutely phenomenal race. Don't get me wrong, these trucks do amazingly round and oval. I love the fact it's a truck. I mean, it just adds that little bit of extra, with the Naz. But sending these absolute beast of a machine around Montreal, I mean, I think these guys are going to have their work cut out. I mean, it's not its natural, home-going course, but I think we're going to be in for some close action. I do expect there to be a little bit of door banging, whether intentional or otherwise.
Yeah, welcome everybody, of course, to Montreal. And I know this track from Formula One and a lot of open wheel racing, and I'm actually was as shocked as you are as well too, Daniel, to see these beasts make their way around this classic track, because this is a very tricky corner you're going through right now as they're on their formation lap. That one, you can see a little scrubbing onto the fence every once in a while. See those tire marks? Yes. Wall of Champions as well too. That'll be your final little kink, and you see on your track map up there. And of course, La Ping, and this will take you around this good tight turn. Many of opportunities of taking this one ease in, ease out, because you want the maximum throttle coming out of this corner, because you get that long casino straight to run before you get into that kink. That's also your pit lane entrance. And of course, the Wall of Champions, well, that has claimed many champions in the past.
Yeah, that's right, Dean. And I apologize if y'all heard my phone ringing in the background. I was announcing the grid. That was Hunter Parsons calling me. He had a last-minute question about the restart zone, because we don't usually race at tracks like this, Dean and Daniel. So there's not a normal Geico restart zone where you see the blue writing on the wall or in the grass. So they wanted to make sure they got the restart zones for after the initial start prepared for the drivers to give that to them. So just a couple of things going on right there that I had to take care of.
So I've got to ask then, Brady, is this going to be like a kind of event where we do indeed get full course yellows?
This is your greens, gentlemen, right here. It should be.
I'll get back to you, Daniel, in a second.
Sorry about that, but yep, they see they're bunching up. There you go. You see that start-finish line?
Green flag.
Daniel, let's go racing.
Absolutely. It's going to be off to a nice clean start. You see Matthew David Wood, he is currently in the pole. Nathan O'Mara alongside him in second. Keith Bradley, Keith Bradley goes, takes that second place. And so far, they are through cleanly. A little bit of door banging going on already. Not really surprised. These trucks are heavy, as we can see the field generally making it through. As I look at the timing speed, oh no, carnage, chaos. We've got one of them gone off. It is the number 20 car. As I have a quick look at the timing, it's Jose Luis Riviera absolutely falling through the field. 10 positions lost in about turn 2.
Yep, that's Jose Luis Rivera. That's okay, Daniel. I know you're new to the series. We'll get that fixed. But as per your question earlier about full course cautions, they're turned on for the admin, but usually when you race these vehicles at road courses, you don't tend to see a lot of full course cautions unless the admin throws them for the stage break, or just a rare occurrence where there's a big pile up. So you won't probably see that many cautions tonight, except for the stage break. But it's a possibility, as we see Jose right there go around. We're going to continue going green, and he's just going to have to catch up to the field for one of those stage breaks.
Well, it definitely is one of the most, one of the perks of this style of racing as well, that stage break, potentially giving you a chance to get back in on the action. And as we see here, we are on board. We got the hook fishing car ahead of us, having a little bit of a nudge there on the number 8 car. Take a quick look at the time, and I'm just going to try and work out who it is. That's Mark Morton that we're following right now, and we are on board with Jeff D. Merck. These guys, less than a tenth of a second now. You can see Merck's trying to make a move on the outside. It's going to come down to the braking zone. Chevrolet versus Chevrolet. Now, don't get me wrong, while these guys may drive for the same brand, I don't think there's going to be any freebies given. You can see there, right tight round the chicane, not taking too much of the curb either, and getting a nice clean run out as we head round onto lap 2, lap 3.
That gets bumpy.
Yep.
Get through there. Sorry about that one there. Jeff Merck, of course, up 10 places. I think you said it yourself there, didn't you, Boss Man Brady, that he got a qualifying ban. So far, he's making it up through the field.
Yeah, that's what I was about to chime on, Dean. I'm sorry about that. That's Jeff was running top 5 lap times in practice, so I knew Jeff's no stranger to road courses. He knows what to do. As you see, Mark Morton's going to try to take this position on Brian Chu right here. But yeah, I just knew that it was a matter of time. And you see Jeff's already making, try to make a pass right here on Brandon Broadfoot, I believe that is. So give another spot to Jeff Merck right here as he keeps on climbing up to the standings. Wow. He wants to get those stage points because I believe he's 19 into this race. So he's on the outside looking in to advance to the next round. So he's got to get some stage.
So, sorry, Brady, you're breaking up a little bit there at the moment. I guess the radio communications there. But I was going to say, Daniel, you'd have to call him Jeff Verstappen really at this point, isn't he? Because he's looking slicing into that field.
Well, while you're making a valid point that the guy definitely has some talent, as much as I agree that he's a talented driver, Verstappen doesn't tend to go charging through the grid. He just starts at the front and then stays there, except for the one and only Mr. Lando Norris. Well done, sir, on your first and hopefully of many Formula One Grand Prix win. In terms of Formula One drivers, very quickly, George Russell is actually, he grew up probably about an hour from where I did. So, you know, a little bit of interesting trivia for anybody who cares. And if you actually know that, you know where I'm from, in which case my sympathies to you. It's really not that glamorous. But as we look back at the racing, they're on lap 3, probably heading on to lap 4 in just a minute. I do apologize. Still getting used to the timing screens, but what an absolutely fantastic setup. Now, I do want to know a little bit more about this series. Perhaps, Brady, you can fill me in a little bit, because I understand that these guys mainly do oval, but such a curious choice for a road track. Why Montreal?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know if I'm still cutting in and out.
You're okay.
Let me know.
You're okay.
But there's a board that runs NASRA. Not just myself, as you see, something's wrong with Phil Pappas right there. He had to get out the gas. He's going to drop about 5 spots right there. But there's a board of directors at NASRA, and they put the schedules together. And there's some guys that like going to ovals. We must put 2 to 3 road courses on the schedule, and sometimes there's a board member that comes off the wall with a track like Kern County or Nashville Fairgrounds or Montreal. So that's kind of how it all works out. Everybody's fair game as far as everybody getting to pick 2 races on the schedule. There's some events that are locked in on Crown Jewel races or Dash for Cash, and speed weeks for Daytona. And then championship races are kind of locked in, but everything else is fair game, and every board member is allowed to pick 2 races, and it just so happened that one board member chose the Montreal.
Well, that is absolutely fantastic so far. As I've seen Jeff Dean making a absolutely phenomenal pass there. Now, I guess where this is mainly, like, you've mainly got the oval, I guess you really do see, you know, the different kind of skill sets. You know, you're getting tested in a different kind of environment almost, having to, you know, wheel like such a heavy truck around this course, and obviously it's working well for the 60 car. But as I have a look through the rest of the timing screen, he's obviously winning the hard charger right now. But we're going to give a little bit of a shout out as well. Mark Morton up 6 positions, so as Raul Mesa, he's up for. Huck Wigington, he's up 5 as well. And as I have a quick look through that is a Chevy, another Chevy, and guess what? Another Chevy. So obviously Chevy's a little bit maybe slower in the qualifying perhaps, or, you know, just getting a qualifying ban and then flaunting it through the field. Definitely one way of doing it, but yeah, definitely a well-passing truck at this point.
Have a look, gentlemen, at the moment of Jeff Merck, because obviously he's 14 positions gained. This man is a road mastermind and a magician, really, if anything. I was going to say, he's Murphy's Magical Creations, not on that one. Of course, it's the Blanchard's Towing that Jeff Merck has on that one. But if you look at and study his racing lines, that goes for a big lockup at the moment there. That'll cost a little bit of time. No overtaking through here, gentlemen. You can see that fence out there will come out and bite you. But watch what he does right now, because you're coming down to La Ping. That's the tightest little hairpin coming right now. Will he set up the inside? I don't think he will. What he'll do is he'll try to brake a little bit. You see, he'll go a little bit around the 8. He won't spot the apex completely. Get on the gasoline, and then you're going to see this runner get a nice tow from the Josie smoke machine there of Stephen Thomas. And then you'll see how Stephen Thomas can block him, because otherwise you're going to see a up on the inside line coming up soon, and then Gamble, of course, through the Wall of Champions in front of her corners. We'll have to come back to that one, actually, because it looks like in a second we'll commit to this. There he is. He's going to commit. I called it. You got to go bold and brave through here, because not a lot of space. In fact, if anything, it will force the other drivers off the road a little bit, but this is fantastic. I don't want to see it 3 into 1, turn 1, gentlemen. Oof. Lucky.
They're definitely testing all the limits of the track at this point. But you know what? Some of the best races are, and For me, I find some cars encourage it more so than others. So, like if you drive the TCR cars, for example, I find them quite irritating at times. But whenever I've raced them, it's always almost felt like you have to push each other to pass. Now, with these cars, I'll be honest, it's not my wheelhouse. I say that now. I mean, seeing them go around here, I'm thinking I might have to, have a crack at this. And often one of the things as a commentator where you're cursed, where you have a look at the racing action, and you're just like, damn, that looks like so much fun. And you know what? If you do want to be a part of this, reach out to us. Nazareth message. They're on Discord. I'm sure somebody much smarter and more experienced than me will be able to have a link. And, maybe it's going on this ticker across the thing. Look at that, like free advertising, please. Aim there.
How about the Cinnamon and Brandon? Go ahead, please, Freddie.
Oh no, I was just going to chime in about what Daniel was saying. You could always, Facebook at Nazareth Racing. Come find us and send us the message, and an admin will get with you right away.
By the way, speaking of Facebook, I've just remembered to start streaming on Facebook for the very first time. So see if you can catch that one out there. My apologies if we are about, a quarter of it. Look at a power slide out of the corner there from the Cinnamon, the Spice Man, number 3. It's going to put him under big pressure. I'll tell you what, I wouldn't be surprised if Jeff Merck doesn't take a 2-for-1 special down the casino. Roll your dice, ladies and gentlemen. Here in Canada, where's he going to go? Well, I don't know if he can slip through the middle here. He will get the Spice Man, that's on the outside there. I don't think he's going to be enough to get Brandon Bullock there. And you can see that bang into the fence. That's what you want. That's the World Champions right there. But this is exciting. I can't believe I'm seeing these trucks around this glorious, great Canadian track.
And shout out to Brandon Bullock right here. We're not used to seeing him, run that well at road courses, but he's running 8. So, shout out to Brandon for, putting in some work this week, and good results are going to pay off for him.
Well, it's definitely a different set of challenges for sure. And then even as a guy who does drive mainly road, you ask me to drive this big truck around a road course, I'm probably going to be at the back of the field going backwards, but, having a hell of a time doing it at the same time. But I've got to ask, guys, do you find that the different trucks, do they have like different handling characteristics, different like personalities almost? Maybe you guys can expand on that a little bit for me.
Say that one more time. I was reading your message. Yes, we will get a QR code. I promise you that. But what was your question again?
So I'm wondering, like, don't get me wrong, it's obviously got spec and stuff like that, but I do wonder if there's a lot of difference between driving like the Chev and the Tundra. And actually, I'm noticing there's no Fords on the grid. I guess they broke down and found on the road dead.
Oh, yeah.
I hear they come with a heated tailgate now.
There's very little guys that run Fords, but they do have them. I know we only have, I think, 24 entries tonight. A lot of people don't like to run the road courses. A lot of people just like strictly running the ovals. And also, guys may run Chevy tonight and then run Toyota next week. There's a lot of guys that run different manufacturers as we don't really require you to run one. I know personally, I've been on the Chevy since the beginning. I've run a little bit of the Toyota. I just don't like the way the Toyota feels as far as, how my personal preference. So I think it's a little bit of what guys like in real life. And I also just think when people are comfortable driving, and, we see some guys running Chevys and some running Toyotas.
Yeah,
no, but I don't think there's an advantage to running either one, to answer your question. I think it's all, running the fixed setup is, everything.
Look at the rear ends of these trucks. It's like you've got a whole bunch of, you've been down to the local hardware store and you've just packed a whole bunch of stuff in the back of the truck, or the utes as we call them in Australia, actually, believe it or not, because they're just tail heavy as there's fishtailing everywhere at the moment. These are difficult trucks to drive, obviously, around this tricky track, but I'll tell you what, they're doing a fantastic job as you're watching a great battle brewing at the moment. Mark Morton and Stephen Thomas, and don't forget about Nathan the Man Scott lurking in the background, P6. Oh, the number 6 truck, sorry.
Well, he's definitely in a good spot to be, but now he's getting to try and make a move on Mark Morton. And as I'm watching it, it does look like Stephen Thomas is having a very hard time getting traction. And don't get me wrong, it's a lot of fun, getting that rear end loose. But if he keeps bouncing that thing around like Beyonce, he's going to absolutely roast those tires. And, it's going to bite him a little bit later on in the race. I mean, we're only on lap 7 of 55. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure you guys are going to have to pit. I'd be very surprised if you didn't. But definitely do not want to put too much heat in the tires, especially with being a road course.
Well, they're going to take that stage break as you see right there at lap 15. That stage break at lap 15, the completion of lap 15. So when the leader takes the flag on a 16, that's when the caution will be thrown. They'll go down pit road, get tires, we'll bunch them back up. Stage 2 is going to finish on 35, but it's going to stay green. So only one stage break tonight, Daniel and Dean. And I don't know what the fuel count is tonight, but I'm assuming going about 35 laps, they'll probably have to make a green flag pit stop somewhere in that final stage. So, but also, you know, to Dean's point, you see these trucks very, very loose coming out the corners. In practice, the track temp was 123 degrees. I know the air temperature was only 78 degrees, but the track temp was way high. So that's why you're seeing a lot of, as you see Chris Cinnamon right there, getting loose coming out the corner. That's what you're seeing right there, is the track temp's just so high.
I'll show it there on the screen for you right now. Exactly. Lots of overtakes. In fact, there's so many overtakes here at the moment, I don't even get a chance to show replays of some moments that have been happening. So I hope everybody's really enjoying themselves, tuning into the C.O.P.S track series for the Hot Lap 135 here at the circuit Gilles Villeneuve. And a big battle currently brewing between P4 and P5. Well, of course, welcome Daniel to the booth here at Nazareth, and doing a solid job, my friend. Yep, you seeing is believing, as you can see the rear end. Exactly what Brady just mentioned.
Yeah, definitely getting a little bit of a wiggle there. Now, while you guys were just having a little discussion, I was actually trying to convert the temperature into units that I understand. 124 Fahrenheit is about 51 degrees Celsius. So to translate that, it's pretty flipping hot. You know, you do not need to turn the pan on. Definitely don't turn on the heat unless you're over 75. You know, they like it nice and toasty. But it's definitely a little bit warmer beyond my comfort zone. And to be honest, even in Montreal, that's an incredibly hot track temp. I mean, don't get me wrong, it does get pretty warm there, but damn.
You could fry an egg at that. Lock up at the moment there from Justin White it was. But then again, he says safe to the end of the day. Yeah, you can crack an egg at the moment on the back of that truck at the moment there, mate. And let's fire up a Barbie. Really?
Oh, I knew that was coming, yeah. But I know. So that first time meeting you here, Dean, but what I do as a day job, I'm a mechanic. I wouldn't say I'm the best one at it, but you guys see these as, you know, you got your different brands and stuff like that. I see them as, okay, which one is less of a pain in the rear end to do something like an oil change on? And I got to say, Chevrolet, not actually that bad. They're quite considerate, I find, with where they put the oil filter on. The Silverado, for instance, Colorado not so much, but the Silverado and then the drain plug, you can actually have them both draining at once. It's beautiful. You compare that to something like a new Nissan Altima. The engineers for that decided to make that. No, tracks on the right, buddy.
Yeah,
there you go.
No, Robert Richards is completely out of the way. I think he made a little mistake there. Let's Cody, not of course, one of our other fantastic men behind the scenes here at the moment. Cody, of course, puts those graphics and these driver intros that we heard before too. I haven't got a chance, gentlemen, at the moment to even go over currently how we're going off for the playoffs. So, Brady, you can perhaps elaborate a little bit more on that one, as we've seen a few little mock-ups and a bit of action carrying up the road.
Brady is just going to be right back, so you're kind of stuck with me for the minute.
Oh, that's fine. I'll throw it up on the screen there for you, my friend. There it is, currently in the moment.
Oh, okay. Well, would you look at that? There you go. So let me just try and understand this a second. So if I understand correctly, actually, you maybe should explain this, because I'm definitely going to, I'll be putting the pig on the Barbie, because I'll make a pig zero of that. So maybe you run this one through me. Let me see if I can get the gist of this as you explain it.
I've started to learn of late, because I relatively have been studied to cast NASCAR trucks and stuff like that around of recent. So you got your Sweet 20, of course, and you got the drivers on the underlined bracket, the ones that are red, of course. They need to be getting a lot more stage points and points themselves, which we'll talk about those stage breaks in a minute. Keith Bradley is very much safe at the moment with 50 points ahead of everybody else. So if you're in that red zone, my friend, that's where you want to be able to get good results in this one to work into your next bracket, of course, which is you get the first 14. There'll be 2 races there, Bristol and Phoenix, and then Talladega, Chicagoland, and Homestead, and then, of course, the champion round after that one. So you got 2 people here. They're probably not the best experts when it comes to that sort of stuff, but help us out in the chat there, because I know you all know what's going on, and we appreciate you tuning in at the moment.
Well, I just see that as a put your head between your legs and, you know, kiss it goodbye at this point, because that's my understanding of that. It looked kind of similar to the Formula One, and, you know, basically you don't get enough points, you don't get to keep going. But as we look back on the racing action, let's see how things going. So Jeff Merck, he is currently up 16 points. You know, at this point he's just showing off. As who's that going a bit wide there?
Lucas and Adam Newton going for it up the road, exactly, because we're running a ball with Jeff Merck, and I think Jeff Merck's going to take at least one of these drivers, considering the fact he's 18 up there. I'm not surprised if this man is not, give or take, leading this race by at least a second. There's still a speed difference you've got. At this point, you're committing completely, unless you're going into pit road. And if you've got a pit road from this place there, Jeff Merck, you're in big trouble. He won't. He'll get through there. And that's just too comfortable for Jeff Merck, just absolutely annihilating everybody in the moment. And just because he just loves this road course, he's obviously a road driver. But go back to that point as well, too, my friend. The caution brakes, not the caution brakes, my apologies. The actual race info. Stage brakes. So lap 15 means that we'll go to a caution. Drivers have an opportunity to go down pit road. Most of them will go down to pit road. And then after that, well, it will also give us a chance to go to our brakes to pay the sponsors and stuff like that, too. But that'll just give your stage brakes will get your stage points. There you have it. I think that's absolutely correct. I hope so for a fact.
I do have one question, though, Dean. Is this an open setup or fixed?
Now, that's one you'd have to give to Brady. In fact, one to the chat as well. So please let us know, chat. And hang on, it doesn't even tell us fixed, actually. It just tells us its fuel capacity is 100%. They're going to go to the end. Green and white checkers is 3. Time of day is noon, as you can see. Or hot, as we'd mentioned. Total sets of tyres is 3. Button. Sorry. Yeah. Throwing me under the bus here, my friend.
You are
it's okay.
most welcome.
I mean, we know that Robert Hill was supposed to be commentating here this evening. He is delayed. So, guess what? It doesn't matter. We'll figure it out, my friend. We'll figure it out. We do know Canada, and we do know the circuit you'll be on. I guarantee you that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
I've probably driven past it quite a few times, actually. I actually spent 5 years living in Ottawa.
Jeez, so, is there any way you haven't lived? Oh, hold a wiggle coming out of the corner, yeah.
I identify as exotic, for those who must know. But Brady's back now, so what were we going to ask Brady? Well, let's start with setups. Brady,
yeah,
is it fixed or open setup in this series?
It's fixed.
Dang.
So everybody runs the same setup, whether you're different manufacturer or anything. Everything's, you know, the same thing across the board for everybody.
So for those at home, basically, the car is set up for you. Everybody has the, you know, they're basically driving the same car. And some people, you know, they don't find that's for them. Myself, I disagree, because realistically, mastering, you know, the racing technique, racecraft.
Oh,
you know,
wiggle from Adam Newton.
Big wiggle
Jeff
there.
Merck's going to get him easily on this one on the outside. Sorry, go ahead.
So basically, if you've got a fixed setup, that's tight, but he's holding it. So if you've got a fixed setup, basically you can focus purely on your lap times and your racecraft and stuff like that. And it also means that the guy ahead of you, they've not got any extra advantage. You can see the U-Haul truck, then definitely testing out that liability insurance at that point. Best reason about a rental car, nothing drives like one. But yeah, no, fixed setup, generally what I prefer in a league, just because, you know, I don't have the time, and even though I'm a mechanic, I don't have necessarily the expertise to set up a car purely for performance. So, you know, another reason, if you're at home, you want to get involved and just want to do it on a little bit more casual side, you know, this could be a good place for you to go. I mean, look at the action you're getting to watch here now. If you're a road course driver, you could do especially successful. We challenge Jeff Merck at this point.
Yeah, I'd have to say, Brady, you might have to put a couple of bricks in the back of that truck. Because he's just... Jeff Merck, he's up 20 places. Now, how is he down from the leader? I mean... Oh, there's a spin.
Dean Doucette.
Dean Doucette, of course, the Dean of Deans at the moment, the Canadian driver. This is your home track, my friend. You got Chris Cinnamon down there in P14. You probably see him come around the corner a little bit further in the background. But yes, you got to show off, my friend, because I hear those Canadians screaming. They're going, as Canadians go, what do Canadians say again? They go, hey, hey, come on, get in there. I'm going to get murdered from the Canadians later.
Well, I could add another tactic. Rather than put bricks in the back of the car, I mean, this is a C.O.P.S series, right? Why not put a couple of bricks of some special white powder and see if he is allowed to finish the race?
Oh, my God.
You know, don't get me wrong, I don't know if that would be a black flag. I'm thinking it might be a red and blue one at that point.
000, that's the exit
that's tense.
Yeah. Can't cross that line too, gentlemen. Sorry about that one. Yeah, exactly. Well, we had that little drinking and driving video too, didn't we, this week there, Brady? Yeah, as well too.
Absolutely, absolutely. So a couple of guys in the Xfinity Series made some team intro videos, and they did pretty good, I will say. Shout out to DCD Racing for putting that on. Joshua Suss is the team owner of that team. He's actually a police officer, so shout out to him. Thank you for your service.
Okay, so hold on a second. I'm trying to work out if you guys did, because I have commentated a league before called 5 Drink Fridays or something like that, and they literally have 5 pints, and if you're drinking, you're not allowed to move the car. And this is obviously all on iRacing, so it's completely legit. Nobody can get hurt, and then they even have a dedicated driver who's on the soft drinks. So, and it's not that long a race either. So these guys,
Lucas Whitehead right there.
Yeah,
Lucas Whitehead. No, yeah, something happened right there. I don't know if maybe when he was downshifting, he went to second instead of third, but that was just weird right there.
We can have a look
Got
real
into the
quickly
wall
on the replay of that one. Sorry, I've tried to get the right camera on that one. Yeah, you'll know.
Yeah, you
Well,
see?
that is crazy. Yeah, I've seen that.
It's like he went to downshift maybe, or I don't know.
Here comes the Joker at the moment, and Chris Cinnamon. So I think Chris has gone around. I can't find Chris on the track. Let's have a look. I do apologize. Usually, oh yeah, Chris has gone around here. He's going to be tagging. Oh no, he's just loosey goosey. And what's happened, bud? I don't know what happened there specifically. We might have had a bit of a blinker for a second there. No, he's gone around here.
Oh, he loses
there it is. Oh, he kept it, bud. Good job. That's the thing too. Because they're not like open wheels. They're not massively quick. Apart from this man, of course, Jeff Merck, who is Jeff Merck. This is not a Formula One car. Slow down, my friend. Right?
I think we're going to have to
really.
Oh, sorry,
it's good. It's really going to be interesting once Jeff catches these guys. You know, top 5, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and even Matthew Wood, who's checked out. I mean, he's put about 20 seconds, I believe, on Keith Bradley in 2nd place. So it's going to be interesting to see Jeff's speed compared to Matthew's speed whenever they punch up after lap 16.
Yeah, I was just actually thinking about that stage break thingy-majiggy that's happening in a very short time. And I've just seen, we got a driver called Daniels in here. Did I just see that right?
Oh,
Yeah, that's Tyler Daniels in the 95 right there. Tyler Daniels, yep.
We're coming down to a stage break as well, too, gentlemen, because you've got to remember Matthew Wood is up the road, MDW, as is formerly known, is known currently at the moment. I pretty much guarantee you at the moment that Jeff Merck's going to make it a overtake. See the exit on there? You can see it. Newton get a little loosey-goosey coming out of Laping down the casino straight there. And Justin White, well, unfortunately, my friend, with the mastermind, it seems to be at the moment, Jeff Merck's going to have track position, and he'll make his way into the final couple of corners, and therefore making way up to 21 positions gained around the outside more than anything. Wow, that's impressive, my friend. But then again, you have been very impressive, and to tell you what, Adam Newton takes an opportunity on that one from Justin White having to back off through the Wall of Champions. So Matthew Wood, of course, on the final lap it is for the stage break. Is that correct, Brady?
That is, yep. As soon as Matt completes this lap, the caution will be thrown. And since they're so spread out like they are, they're going to throw it as soon as he crosses the start-finish line. So, like I said, 20-second lead. I know he was very upset. He felt like he had a shot at Darlington last week, and but I mean, you got to just keep pounding away and keep showing up each week. I told him on the side, a win's coming for him. Everybody knows this guy right here is very talented. He's going to get a win. It might come tonight, it might not, but he's just got to keep doing what he's doing. I mean, the truck looks stout, so whatever he's doing it a lot better than everybody else.
There you go there, Daniel. So he's got basically the main straightaway here, and that's it. Just a couple more corners, and he'll be able to have a big smile on his face because he has a huge gap over the animal, Keith Bradley, and stage win is all yours, my friend. Just 2 more corners.
I'm just trying to read what's on his helmet, actually. If you can
we'll see if we get that up in a second, exactly. I don't know if I can pull it up.
I could see something in the mirror.
Proven something. Anyway, he's got it. That should be the stage break, if I'm not mistaken there, Brady. Are they going to still go green? No, they're not. That's the stage break.
Yeah, they're going to throw it.
There it is.
I'm going to take a quick peek. I want to see this guy's helmet.
Are you sure you're not Australian?
I maybe should have picked a different set of words for that. That could have come across.
You've got to be a bloody Australian, my friend. I'm sorry. You are definitely not. You try to fool me being a Brit. There's no way. Look at that. So here he is. He's done it. stage way, which means they have to go all the way back around again to go to pit stops, and they would take a pit stop, wouldn't they, Brady, for sure?
Correct. Until they catch the pace truck, which I believe it's going to be, they're all still trying to catch up to it. Then pits will open up. I don't believe they'll open up on this lap, but next lap they'll open up, and then they'll get, I'm sure you'll see everybody go get 4 fresh tires as we see them getting loose, and we saw the track temp earlier, 124 degrees, so I'm sure everybody's going to get 4 fresh tires.
I'll tell you one thing we haven't had a break about. We haven't even had a chance to thank our fantastic sponsors. So everybody pay attention while we have a break in the race, of course. The first stage break is done. MDW gets the stage break win. We'll be back after these lovely sponsors. Don't go anywhere.
Starbase 1552 Comics. We sell everything a collector would want. Comics, Funkos, action figures, and so many more. A real American comic book shop. We are online only. Starbase 1552 Comics. Find us on eBay Auctions.
Are you ready?
For Murph's Magical Creations. Home to custom laser engraving and gifts. This veteran-owned and operated company engraves for all occasions. If you want one of Murph's Magical Creations, call the number on your screen or commission through either Instagram or via email. Murph's Magical Creations.
All right, and we're back. We've got Matthew Wood here. He's currently leading it as we just get back from the stage break. Right behind him, Keith Bradley. He's only up one position. He started there in third with Nathan Mara there in third. He's down one position. But then if we look in fourth place, we've got the 60 car of Jeff Merck, Adam Newton right behind him, Justin B. White, Brandon Bullock, Lucas Whitehead, Nathan M. Scott, and then Phil Pappers in 10th. Now that I've managed to make Dean absolutely wet himself laughing because he's convinced I'm Australian despite being from Queensland. No, I am in fact British. Sorry to disappoint you all, but yeah, that was the top 10. They're getting ready, currently on the first stage break. The one that will be following on lap 35 will be all green, so you know, no freebies there. But we were just debating pit strategy and are they going to go in the pits? Now, if it was me, 100% I would be sending it in that pits, making use of the fact that, you know, the field's bunched up. It's almost like a free pit stop. And,
box.
These guys seem to agree with me, but I do got to wonder, is the whole field going to pit? Is somebody going to hope for a caution later on? I don't see it happening as the currently just one car out behind the pace truck. Maybe they forgot to pit.
Yeah, maybe. That's the pit lane entrance course for the first time there. You know, I know what you're doing. You got a little bit of Peaky Blinder on me, aren't you? You're British, man. You're like, oh, all right, oh, yeah. But no, in Australia, you'd be like, oh, yeah. They're going up there to, you know, slap a couple of fresh tyres on the Barbie, on the car, of course. But no. Matthew Wood leading in there. They're going to change it. And let's see if he gets out first. He should tuck it. That's a drive-through. That's a drive-through for the 60 machine, I believe, because he didn't go on a pit road. And MDW will go out ahead of Nate Mower.
That doesn't make sense. Why would he drive through? He's still in the same position.
I
don't
penalty.
think he drove through.
I'd have to say penalty for sure, because there's no way he would just go straight through driving the pit road at that moment. Let us know in the chat as well, too. I'm getting a chance to read the chat. Well, you know what? Even in oval racing, when they're wheel to wheel, I'm surprised that this has been so exciting because I'm really having a chance to read the chat, and I really love engaging with the chat here at the Nazareth Network and having a chin wagon, a jolly old chin wagon with everybody down there, as we're going to see a few more drivers head down the pit road. Ed Osborne, Joey Doucette, the Spiceman, Chris Cinnamon. I do apologize, some of these cameras aren't absolutely best for the truck series. Cody Knott, of course, and Brian Chu will go in there. Chris Blanchard will go in there. So that is how it's going to pan out here in Old Canada. Did you know as well, too, that this track has so many miles of underground tunnels and so forth?
I did not, actually. I know that's the river that goes right by Montreal.
Yeah, Brady's back as well, too. That's one of the intros. I used to do many intros for Formula One. The Formula One game, that's right, not the simulation like this is, but the Formula One game, and I did so many introductions to this fantastic track here at Gilles, Villeneuve and Montreal, and this is like, yeah, I like 145 miles of underground tarmac or something like that, but tonight will be 100 and something miles of overground tarmac, because it snows a lot, the man-made island as well. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to be interesting now as you see Matthew Wood, that 21 machine for Highline Racing. He's going to be on the front row, and then Jeff Merckx right there in that 60. He's going to be on the second row. So Dean, it's going to be interesting to see if Dean could keep up with him or if Matt's just going to pull away like he did before. So
I think
I know I'm interested to see it because we're going to get the one to go right here. You should see the lights on the pace truck turn off right here, and they'll get the one to go.
You'll have plenty of time because they're doing an average, well, the regular lap will be 140, 145s or so, give or take, and they get it a lot slower to the pace car. But I'm interesting to see if the battles now, because Jeff Merck's up with the pace now. He's up with MDW and Nate Maurer, and MDW's led every lap of this race. Nate Maurer's led every second, well, behind the man that's leading every lap of the race. But Jeff Merck now, the man that's gained 22 positions, the man that had a qualifying bend, as you mentioned, is now going to be challenging him from behind. So that's going to be super, super spicy and dicey. And let's look at the best laps that these drivers have done. Well, the best lap that Jeff Merck has done is a 144.98. A 143.59 from Matthew Wood is a lot quicker. But then again, Matthew Woods had clean air, and Jeff Merckx had to battle through traffic the whole way. So this is going to be interesting. Now Matthew Wood has a contender to challenge him.
Well, it's definitely a lot more fun when you've got someone to race with, you know. And don't get me wrong, it's not always about racing for the lead either. Don't get me wrong, obviously we all want to be on the top step, but you know, sometimes my most fun battles have actually been like, you know, midfield, back of the grid, and you know, it's all about the racing action, and it's good to see that, you know, there's going to be some people from to play with, you know. Don't get me wrong, trying to blast through the field is a lot of fun, but you know, realistically, you want someone who's going to challenge you, and maybe, you know, Matthew Wood can give him that challenge.
I'm hoping so. What do you think about Brady?
Well, I mean, another guy we haven't really even talked about, he was running second right there, was Keith Bradley. He's in a different paint scheme tonight for the C.O.P.S. So shout out to the C.O.P.S. that are the title sponsor of this series. You see that blue machine right there? I mean, we haven't really talked about him. So Jeff doesn't necessarily have to just deal with Matt. He's got to deal with Keith and Nate. So it's going to be interesting. I think the winner, though, is going to come out of the first two rows. I think it's going to be one of these four guys. It's their race to win it. But I mean, you would have to pick Matthew Wood as the favorite right now.
Yeah, you got to bring the animal into it right now. You did it. You forgot about Keith Bradley, the animal. That's his nickname, of course, and he is an animal when he's behind that machine. He's foaming at the mouth for the top step of some champagne, as they're going to be foaming for their opportunities to win this race. They're down the casino straight. You see down behind the pace truck. The pace truck will peel into the pit road, straight up ahead to your stage right, and that's the left for the truck. Matthew Wood will take us into the final couple of corners, and then we'll go green flag as they pass the wall of champions. And then, of course, our fantastic new commentator here this evening, Daniel, will have to bring it here. Is he Aussie? Is he a British? I don't know, but he's going to be casting some of the best racing. Here we go.
And here we go, Matthew Wood. He's keen to get on the start. That pit lane truck, he is well out of the way, and I can't say I blame him with a field of 25 cars, well, 25 trucks behind him with screaming V8s. I wouldn't want to be in the way either. Matthew Wood absolutely sending it. A little bit of a wiggle there under braking. As you see there, Merck goes deep, but he's going to be on the outside line for this next turn. The 971 car of Nathan Murrah, not giving him a freebie with the 29 of Keith Bradley, not really getting much of a look in at that point, but most of the drivers getting into single file. I say most of them, Merck and Barra, still having that little scrap, but, good position for Bradley to be in. Maybe he can try and put a nose in, potentially get another move, but Wood is going to be absolutely loving this. The more these guys fight, the better his odds of making a clean breakaway.
Brady, what do you think about that one? Jeff Merck put his nose in the moment that Nate Maurer shut the door on him big time. He says, not on my watch.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's what you're going to see in this series. The guys just don't lay over. They know that, this thing's going to probably most likely 99% go green the rest of the way. And with 36 laps to go, do they make a pit stop? Do they not? You're probably fighting for every position. It's go time. You cannot lay over or give up a spot right now. As we see, them still getting a single file line. Everybody's kind of spreading out right now. But as you see Nate Maurer go wide right there, and he comes back in front of him. I mean, Jeff's going to be patient. He knows Matt Wood's fast. He's probably going to be patient right here. But I think in about 2 or 3 laps, he's really going to push the issue. And he might push the issue right here as he sees he might dive bomb. We'll see.
Yeah, but the biggest problem as well, he backed off on this one there because you want to either be at least half a car length ahead there and then bully your way through the corner if you need to. Because you want to be door banging, as of course our door banging down low Jacob would say. I think being patient is key. There's a little bit of action and commotion that's happened a little bit further back. I just want to see if there's any opportunities here before they go into sector 2. For now, no. And then I'll just have a look. Brian Chu, unfortunately, has had a moment. In fact, I'll probably change the way the camera's there. But this is a little bit further commotion. I believe that Joey, the Joker, Doucette, has also been involved in this one there, my friend. And I believe there's also other incidents, and that's probably just a little bit of door banging that's going on there. It's hard to say that, but there it is. Jeff Merck putting big pressure on Nate Maurer there. And, of course, Daniel, what do you think about this one?
Well, so far, you know what? I've actually been quite impressed with how clean the racing been. I am actually a little bit jealous of the guys where they're fighting for traction so much. Now, it's hard to get that in the iRacing service, I find, that actually have good competitive racing. You almost deliberately want something that is going to be a bit loose, and the truck's just absolutely perfect for it. It's so much fun just because then you're not just racing the guy ahead of you, you're not just racing the track, but you're also fighting the car as well. And it's like the supercar series, incredibly difficult to drive, especially the earlier ones before they updated the newer generation supercars. They became a lot more manageable. But certainly, the new it adds even more of a dynamic, just to try and race. But as I'm looking through the field, this is the closest battle we've got going on. There's a couple of people close by, but currently 0.1 of a second gap between Maurer and Merck. And
sending it.
Yeah, he's thinking about it, but again, risk versus reward, my dear friend. Risk versus reward. Now, he's currently sat in third place. He's got Keith Bradley behind him, so, he can't really afford to make too much percent, potentially take 2, if not 3 of them out of the race. You've got to weigh up the pros and cons, and certainly we're not even quite at the halfway point yet. There's still a lot of driving left to be done.
It's going to be a little bit frustrated, too, because if Jeff Merck doesn't get this overtake there on Nate, you got to remember the race leader at the moment, MDW, is the fastest lap there, 143, set just recently on that lap, and you can just see him there. That's going to be frustrating. The drivers of Jeff Merck and Keith Bradley. Nate Maurer, of course, has been running P2 most of this race, but now he's got some serious competitors behind him, of course, a.k.a. Jeff Merck. The 22 positions gained, my friend. That's slicing and dicing your way through the field there. And it keep time. Every time you're talking about the supercar series and stuff like that, making me believe once again you're a Aussie. But here we go. I don't know, my friend. Throw a snag on the Barbie. Let's see how they're going to go into Laping, coming onto the kink before we go into Laping, and forced off the track. Actually, Jeff Merck is going to lose it to Keith Bradley. Keith Bradley says, yeah, you snooze, you lose, my friend. I'll take that P3 any day.
Well, he definitely saw that opportunity coming, and he was in the right place at the right time. But now there's an extra car, going to get in the way of him. The 29 car of Keith Bradley. you know, how much of a hold-up is this going to be for Merck? But,
Oh,
you know,
Merck.
Wood is absolutely loving this so far since the return from the stage break. He's pulled away that 5-second gap, and, you know, the more these guys battle, the better it is for Wood. But I've got to ask, you know, is there any teams involved in this? I do believe this is a team event as well. How is it looking on the team side of things?
Well, I don't know that specifically, my friend, because usually the other commentators here generally are great friends. You know, I just turn up and, you know, pull the right cameras there and deliver the show. They know more details about this specifically, I mean, I cast 2 to 3 races a day generally, but yes, they are teammates. There's also friends and allies. You've got to remember too that a lot of these drivers are actually in their own chats. They're in with their teammates, they're in with their friends, and even if they're not necessarily teammates, they will, you know, you favor your buddies, don't you? You favor your friends, you favor your drivers and everybody that you hang out with week by week in this lovely, fantastic racing league. So, you know, when push comes to shove, you might find somebody might help you a little bit more, even though the teammate, see, Phil Pappas got a little bit squiggly really coming out of the corner, currently running in P8.
Well, that is the thing I find, especially in oval racing. You cannot do it alone. You know, you need a bit of help. And sometimes, you know, I know I entered like it was a big oval series, like special event. And I am definitely not a pro at oval. I'd be the first to admit that. And everybody was getting a little bit irritated with me. You see a little bit of a mistake there. That's going to open up an opportunity. We'll get back to my story in a minute. The 29 car, Keith Bradley, having a good look now at the 971 and Nathan Murrah. I saw a little puff of smoke
So
down.
the
He's
inside,
going for it.
yeah, there it is. You've got to commit to this. He's locked up a little bit. This is Laping, remember? And I tell you what, don't forget. Oh, there's a tap. You see the exit speed's so slow. Oh, that's beef. That's beef. You're lucky you don't have the redneck announcer right here, right now. That is a little door banging beef. And you know, if anything, it brings Adam Newton play. Adam Newton goes, did that all night long, gentlemen. I'm happy to steal a P3 if you keep doing it. Matthew Wood, of course, MDW, is just going, hey, I got 3-second gap up the road, gentlemen. If you want beef, I'll fire up the barbecue, I'll cook it, and we'll sit 3 seconds in pit road and wait for you to all turn up.
I definitely think that my co-commentator here, Mr. Dean Hopton, needs to get some propane going or something. Somebody just feed this guy some raw meat. Like, he is absolutely gagging for a barbecue. Maybe it's the Queensland and him, you know. Maybe there's a kangaroo hopping in front of him and he's just about ready to put a big poker up his rear end and spit roast it. But, ooh, carnage there. But honestly, as I watched that pass, if I was Merck, I'd probably give that back. You know, he sent it on the inside, gave it a little bit of a nudge, and then basically it was kind of a bit of a push to pass. Now, don't get me wrong, you know, I'm not quite sure what the rules are in this series, but, you know, in terms of sportsmanship, I probably would give that one back. You know, it wasn't a clean pass, I'm afraid.
I saw it earlier, actually, in a series that I was broadcasting in Germany, of course, in the Nuremberg ring. But yeah, it depends on the driver. Of course, some drivers actually will do it. They will just yield it. Say, my bad situation, of course. That's usually a lock-up going into a corner. But a little bit door banging like that, I don't know, because that's just a bit of sliding coming in the corner. And I don't know, somebody's turning into somebody. It could also be because they're hitting the loud pedal, and of course the tires are still spinning up there, so the car's turning and rotating one direction. We don't know. These drivers are generally some of the best in the world that you'll find, and some of the most entertaining in the world you'll find. So yeah, there's a lot more to it when you're in that cockpit and driving at these insane speeds. And I see a car putting the absolute wrong direction now. That was just a camera input for a second. But yeah. We don't know at this point. Race control. We have race control, as you mentioned there, as Brady mentioned. We have a few people there looking at that. What they'll be doing, of course, is they'll be looking at that replay over and over and over again. And they'll elect to do this one. Jeff Burke gets past. That looked like Nate Melwood just completely let him past. Now, that looks way too easy. We're going to replay this one, because look at that. Unless he made a mistake out of that corner, that looked like Nate Melwood just said, I don't want to do this anymore. Wow.
Potentially some team tactics there, but I'm looking at the 85 truck of Phil Pappas at the minute. It looks like he's having a bit of a battle with Lucas Whitehead at the 33. Currently 3/10 of a second in that gap. We're going to get a quick view on that. There we go. And I don't know if they're going to make a move yet, but they've got a train of four trucks. I almost keep saying cars. I do apologize. These things are a bit bigger.
I do it.
Don't get wrong. Don't worry. You can get a car with a V8 engine, but it's not going to move like this probably does. So, you know, absolutely fantastic battle so far. And as I look at the positions, these guys are all down a couple of positions, you know, but nothing too crazy. But, you know, I mean, it's the nature of the beast, you know, sometimes with a little bit of a wiggle there. you know, it's just, like I said, the nature of the beast. And, you know, you can see these guys, the grip is just, it's there, but it's almost, you know, like it's just teasing you. You see a little bit more loss of grip there, a little bit of tyre smoke, and each time you see a bit of smoke from these tyres, there is going to be more temperature in the tyres.
Well, you want to see something at the moment. You want to see smoke at the moment. Keith Bradley on the inside. Nate Maurer, actually. And there it is. So the 971 Nate Maurer and Keith Bradley down Laping. And, of course, Adam Newton's in the background. So let's write more about Newman if you want to be talking about all this. Down the Casino Straight. Sit back, relax. Hold on tight. You know, you can put your arm out the window if you want. And this is the only little straightaway you really have here in Circuit de Villeneuve. And then you got to get ready for this. Is so hard, this section, honestly. And look at these cars bounce off the chicane if you do bounce them. Look at that. It's got to hurt your back, my friend. Have to get a good chiropractor.
Well, I'll be honest, when it comes to racing cars, racing trucks, comfort is never a high priority, but I am definitely keeping an eye on the field just behind them. Now, our race leader, Matthew Wood, he's absolutely flying away at this point, 13.4, 13.5 seconds, but this is where the action's at right now. You can see here, we are on board, and I've got to be honest, that's a bit of a camouflage job there from the 33 of Lucas Whitehead. That matte black paint definitely hiding the numbers a little bit, and you see there, rear view cameras, he's looking back onto Phil Pappas, and you know, these guys have been, oh no, incident, that's car number 6, well, truck number 6, Nathan Scott. Not what he had in mind. Definitely not what he had in mind.
That'll bring this big gaggle of cars at the moment there. Joker, the Joey Dissett there, Ed Osborne, and Robert Richards will be all battling it out. But go back to that little battle that you mentioned there before, because we'll still keep an eye on that one, because it ain't going anywhere, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, who's in the background? Completely in the fence. I couldn't even see who that was. That was Mark Morton. Wow. Yep, big time. He's on the track, and that's going to... Oh, no! Oh, that should be... We don't... Race control has to throw almost a manual caution on this one. Oh, that is the dangerous thing you do not do. You do not back up on the track like that, especially on the racing line. But I think it's green, green, green. We did hear from Brady before that said that they're going to call those cautions manually if required. And Chris Cinnamon's also in trouble, my friend. A lot of action will happen like that. Chris Cinnamon... Oh, no. Both the Canadians, my friend, have just had a horrible time in this one lap 27.
That definitely wasn't what they had in mind. I'm hearing it as well that Chris Cinnamon, he actually had quite a bit of success. He won the Monday Night Championship this last week. So, you know, don't get me wrong. He's had some success tonight.
He's got damage too.
You know, he's at a quota for that, I guess. You know, he's had his moment, and now he's kind of just, you know, I've conquered, I've succeeded. Now I'm just going to chill it on my home turf. But definitely not what he had in mind. As I'm looking again through the field, this is where all the action's at right now. We've got like a 3-4 car battle. Said it again, I do apologize. It's a truck. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle there from Phil Pappas. Definitely shaking the booty of that truck. But, you know, the track temperature, the tires, you know, these are going to be really, really struggling for grip at this point. You know, such a heavy machine as well. The thing is definitely not riding on pixie dust. And, you know, it really comes down to such self-discipline. You know, you've got to make sure you really, really feather the throttle, feather the inputs. No ABS on these either, I believe. It is pure manual braking. So it is very raw, very much a driving experience.
Oh, it's a man machine, isn't it? Like a man and women, of course, because we love women in motor racing. There's a lot of them these days as well, too. And we want to encourage more women to be driving. And it's tough. It absolutely is tough, especially around this, because most of the tracks, of course, this season here at the C.O.P.S Truck Series are in ovals. But I appreciate the gladiators come here and tackle this tough circuit, because even in open wheels, Formula 1, Formula 2, Formula 3s, you know, Super Formulas, Formula 4s, and everything that you have available on iRacing, it is difficult. And to get these beasts out here on this track is even more difficult. But I'm more proud of the fact that everybody's putting it in the right direction. Most of them, of course. Few incidents, but really, if I was commentating this battle at the moment, you can see the 48 currently at the moment there, with Robert Richards and Ed Osborne around Laping. But I would have seen 10 times more incidents in open wheel racing right now than I've seen in this truck series. So hats off to these gentlemen.
It's definitely been quite clean racing, but what fascinates me more is, you know, I'm looking at the I rate, and just not that it's relevant in the league race, but the way that these guys are driving, I'm actually really impressed, you know, like, so Jeff Merck, for example, apparently he's 800 I rating. Well, I call absolute
know.
BS on that one. This
Of
guy,
course it is. Look at Jeff Merck annihilating the field.
maybe like lets his blind grandma stand on the sim for a few officials. That's that's who's been taking us out, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we can't go any official races. We've got people sandbagging out over here. But
speaking of which, Jeff Merck is now putting out big pressure on the MDW. You're right on that one. So yeah, we know throw the I rating at the door, especially the recent updated changes. Because these cars aren't really prepared to perform around here. But in fact, sorry, that's not Jeff Merck on MDW. That's Jeff Merck being hunted down by these two drivers, Nate Maurer and Adam Newton.
I was just having a look through the Discord to see if we can find a little bit more chat, a little bit more info on a little bit about this series. But I gotta say, first time here, especially with Nazra as well. I'm gonna be commentating some Monday night stuff for them soon. But right now it's Friday, and our kind friend Robert Hill, and your regular commentator, he's having a few technical difficulties. Well, his computer's having some technical difficulties. I don't know about the guy himself. I'm hoping he's all right, but yeah.
He's always a busy man as well, too. Another battle brewing at the moment there. Keith Bradley, Luke Whitehead, we're looking at the moment there. Keith Bradley, Justin White. This is down the main casino straight. I don't know if anybody's going to be enough to get in on this one. Keith Bradley not going to take it? No. And that's Justin White currently in the Toyota road there as he makes his way through kindly the Wall of Champions there. And you can see on the back of his car there, of course, is supporting, of course, as a lot of these drivers do, my friend, as I know you're new there, Daniel, but this is all about the community, and this is all about the support of everything that these drivers can do. They help out everybody in need, and it's lovely. It's a really good feeling to have. They're driving to support the community.
I can definitely make peace with that, actually. The last 4 years in a row, I regularly run the Daytona 24-hour, and I tend to lead a team into that. And last 4 years in a row, it's actually I made it a fundraiser for Cancer Research Institute. And the first 3 years, we hit over $1,000 Canadian, which is not as much in US money, I got to admit. But and then the last year, we were hit mid-8s, maybe 900 Canadian. I was actually, honestly a little bit disappointed, but times are hard. I get it. But, you know what? It's something. The answer's not just going to find itself. I mean, I wish it was
anything. I mean, people. Times are tough, of course, but you'd be surprised. And times are tough. If you have $10 in the bank account, you'd be surprised. Some people donate $5, and it's like that's half your income. Well, it's half what you had in the bank, and that's just goes to show you what people will give, and they are giving, and they're giving it. So. We never expect people to donate thousands and thousands of dollars. I mean, unfortunately, as you'll know, some of the rich billionaires in the world don't. Some do. But anyway, let's not talk about that. Let's talk about what people realistically can donate and so forth. And they do. It's just a charity organisation. I found it been very successful before in the past. They've done it here, the Nazra Network. And all these races, of course, are put on generally to support many of the fantastic charities that we have. Of course, and awareness as the concerns the police survivor series that we have currently in the moment here. To thank our boys and women and men in blue, as we're going to see a battle there. Phil Pappas at the moment. Lucas Whitehead down in turn 1.
You can see Phil Pappas is definitely trying to make a move. The 85 truck there. You see the overhead shot. I mean, it really comes down to like which line have you got and when, because almost got a double whammy there. Stephen Thomas having a little bit of a sniff of Pappas there. Definitely trying to make it move. He's got a little bit of a wiggle going as Brady LaBouffe. He rejoins it in the commentary booth as the action gets hot. Big slide there from Stephen Thomas. The 23 truck absolutely pedaling just to try and get that next place back. He's going from 9th. He's trying to get into 8th and potentially make his way through this pack of 4 trucks. And, it's definitely, he is fighting the car. Well, damn it, fighting the truck, fighting the grip, fighting what is left of the grip anyway. That track temperature really paying an impact. And don't get me wrong, I mean, he's still got another 9 laps to go before you're going to get the stage 2, albeit staying green. But at this point, you've really got to be in the mindset of trying to preserve those tires. Don't overdrive the truck. It's so difficult. I mean, you can see there they're getting sideways going out of that corner, and it's such a demanding discipline, especially with some of the ovals where that loud pedal barely leaves the floor.
That's a question to you, Mr. Boss Best Left. Actually, just as you said that. Oops, it doesn't matter. He's very busy. You can imagine the boss man is very busy. He's running this fantastic league called Nazra, and he's running many of the fantastic leagues that we do put the production on for. So, unfortunately, Daniel and everybody else in the chat, you're stuck with you and me for answering these questions. You're stuck with 3 cars down the main straight with 25 laps to go, of course, of the overall race. Here we go to the turn 1. Oh, gentlemen, don't start your engines. Certainly don't cook your engines. Don't fire them up and don't come into each other. Wow. Look at this 4-car battle. You're talking about 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th, 10. And 10th almost there. Daniel, did you expect this coming into this race?
Oh, absolutely. I expect these guys to go at least 3 wide in multiple corners, and I'm going to be disappointed if I get anything but. You know, there are standards to uphold for the view and entertainment of our community.
Oh,
you can see that was a rub. That was definitely a rub, and that's a little bit of a twerk, a little bit of a wiggle as that thing gets absolutely shaky under the braking. The 23 versus the 33. Now, who's going to end up with the top digit at the minute? The 33 Lucas Whitehead. He is ahead, but by a hair at this point. Stephen Thomas just 2 tenths behind him, and the Toyota versus the Chev. Obviously, these guys are not just battling for position, but battling for the brand, as it were. And fantastic camera shot of that chicane as well. I've got to say that's one of the better camera views we've got here. But these guys absolutely having a ball.
Yeah, Brady, we got you back there at the moment. Are you having a ball?
Oh, absolutely, guys. Sorry about that.
Oh, don't tap him in the back there for the cops. Sorry, go ahead, Brady.
No, every time something happens, I got to go take care of something else, or Hunter had a question, I had to go explain it to him. So we're good now. I think we're good for these last 24 laps. But man, we've only been 10 laps from the stage break, it seems like, or 20 laps. And Matt Wood's already got 20 seconds on Jeff. I mean, Matt is laying the laps down, guys. Matt, I don't know if he's raced here before or whatnot. We'll have to get some information on him on the post-race interviews, but Matt's killing it tonight.
Well, Phil Pappas at the moment there is trying to get past the Animal Keep Bradley, and they're going into turn 1, turn 2, of course. Side by side, 85 and 29 machine, enough room there. I think we're going to go right on board, of course, of Lucas Whitehead and just watch this one from his perspective. And yeah, it's fantastic at the moment, isn't it? Matt, MDW is just killing it. I mean, Jeff Merck making his way through all the field, but apart from P1, and Daniel, what do you reckon at the moment here? Does Lucas want something else? Does he want a bit of the Animal, or Phil Pappas up the road?
I actually think that right now this guy is in the best position. He's got 2 people ahead of him, absolutely fighting. And we're on board with Lucas Whitehead, yeah, Keith Bradley ahead of him. But I can see these guys having a little bit going too wide, and I reckon this guy is going to get the freebie. I think he's going to be able to sneak in under the radar. And, don't get me wrong as well, this is a C.O.P.S series. Perhaps a pit maneuver could be executed. It wouldn't be the most ethical way of getting the pass, but, it's definitely a feasible one, Don't get me wrong, investigations happen, but from the commentator's point of view, bribes help.
Are you saying, Brady, they're going to throw down the, what do they call it? They throw across the road there to break all the tires?
Oh, the spike strip?
The spike strips, yes. So there you go. No spike strips, please, gentlemen.
That would be interesting to see. But, I mean, with these 5 guys, Dean Doucette's coming in this battle right here. These 5 guys under a blanket almost. I mean, it's real competitive right here with this group from 6 to 10.
Well, I've got to say, if we're going to have 5 guys, I'm sure Dean is going to get very excited, because that means, yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is barbecue, it's burgers. And these guys are going absolutely tooth and nail. I mean, this is the full combo meal right here.
Don't throw that car around there, Stephen Thomas, because Dean Doucette's going to be going barbecuing you, my friend. The Dean of Deans down to the turn 1. That should be job done there for the Canadian. Listen to the Canadians roar at the 55. Takes the 23 and 23 laps to go, gentlemen. But remember, stage break's coming up very, I'll say this one more time, very soon.
So I got to wonder then, if the stage break stays green, these guys just keep rocking full speed then, and I guess it's just more like a recording interview.
Correct.
Results.
Correct. They continue under green flag conditions, and we just recorded at lap 35.
So definitely not the time to pit is lap 35. 36, much better. 35, new series. Bad tactical decision.
Sorry, 1 second to clarify. We're not going total laps 55. Are we not?
Yes, we're going to 20. We're going to 55.
Oh, okay, but it says 23 to go on the screen. I'm just very confused on that one.
Yeah, because we've done 22.
Oh no! Stephen Thomas, Dean Doucette, it ain't over yet there. And Stephen Thomas, unfortunately, made a little bit of an error for the 23 machine. He's trying to come back there at the Canadian. He's like, I'm going to take the beef to your lovely nation up here in the north. And yeah, well, there it is. It's going. We have other drivers that have gone in and out pit road, of course. We have Robbie Richards has gone in. Joey just said has crashed there. A few other drivers as well too, Brady. But, you know, I mean, the fuel capacity, as we mentioned there in the details, says that you can go 100% all the way, right? So you don't need gas. Tires? How
That's
punishing
just the
is it?
capacity, Dean. That's
Right.
the capacity. You
Oh,
can
if you-
run, you know, if it says you can run, you know, 35 laps here, it's 100% 35 laps, and then, you know,
Steve Thomas is going
50%
in?
17 laps.
Right.
So that's
Okay.
where you get that from.
So you thinking drivers might start boxing now on the green? Because we've only had green.
I think they're going to cut this thing in half almost. There was like what 30 laps to go, or 40 laps to go. Maybe in between that range. So I think you're seeing guys cut it in half right here.
I just wanted to ask you before we go back over to Daniel that there was a driver that was essentially blocking half the track there, and I thought, are you going to throw a manual caution? Obviously, it wasn't called. It was dangerous, but because can you remember exactly who it was, Daniel, that actually smashed that car that was blocking half of the road as well too? You know that for a fact. It was oval. That would have been a caution on the speedway, but here in Canada, it's like, hey, it's all right.
I was just looking through the thing, and there's no name popping out at me, which is good. You know, you've evaded me at least, so that's good. But yeah, it definitely was an unsafe rejoin, and you know, it comes down to experience. And don't get me wrong, you know, for anybody who came up and one guy did actually get hit by it, you know, it's a learning opportunity. At the moment, definitely the teddies will be out the pram, you know, understandably so, but teachable moment, ladies and gentlemen. You know, you've got to learn to keep the foot on the brakes, you know, just toe to pits if you have to. Obviously not the preferred tactical decision, but definitely you don't ever want to compromise someone else's race when you've had a little bit of a whoops, as we see another vehicle coming in the pits here. Not quite sure who it is. There we go. Huck Wigington.
Yeah. I was going to say before we go over to Brady to answer that question, like it just reminds me every time I see that Austin Powers movie when he's trying to do the reversing in that little tunnel. Yeah, that's what it felt like there. So what was your perspective on that one, Brady? Because I'm not sure if you're aware of it, but he was blocking the track and reversing back and destroyed another driver.
Well, I mean, you know, I would have to go back. I missed it. Had to go take care of something real quick. I'd have to get a replay of it. If you could post it for me.
I can't even remember where it was, my friend. There was an action that happened. And maybe some in the chat, please let us know. I mean, I love the chat. They pay attention.
Well, you know, there's something that I do know, and it's kind of similar to what you guys are talking about, like Tuesday night for the Xfinity Series. We had a guy that spun out at Daytona, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with, that big 2.5-mile oval. And when he spun out, they stayed green, and then he came back to get onto the track, and instead of staying on the apron, going 80 miles an hour, he came back onto the track, and the field was coming, and they were going 180 miles an hour. So, you know, it wiped out a couple of cars, and you would like to see the guys show a little bit more of awareness. They got a relative, they know how far back or ahead somebody is. As we see Lucas Whitehead still battling Keith Bradley and Dean Doucette right here.
Yeah,
but you would like to see them use a little bit more judgment on awareness before they take somebody else out with them.
It's a lot to actually, I mean, at that point, if your car's basically completely sideways on the track, as we're going to see, we go to Laping. This will be an interesting battle actually coming down into to start another lap down the casino straight. But yes, it takes a little bit of judgment because you got to remember drivers are still heated up, they're still frustrated, they're still going, and then, you know, in their minds, and then mind that you're thinking about 10 seconds have already gone, right, at that point. And then they're going to go, they have to click the button, go toe to pit road, all right, which will disappear the car. As we see, they go through the World Champions, thankfully, safely. And by that time, you've already wasted, basically, I've just spoken about this for 20 seconds, and that's what the driver was going through the driver's mind. So it's a lot to think about.
And I do want to touch on it, Dean, and Daniel, to explain to you, the driver I was talking about Tuesday, we DQ'd him from the session. So there are penalties for things as such. We have penalties for driver awareness. So if you are a hazard or causing issues, it doesn't matter if you paid an entry fee tonight. You're treated to follow the rule book, and if you go outside of that, you'll receive penalties for it.
Well, I've got to say, ladies and gentlemen, so don't get me wrong, we want to attract you to come and race with us, but equally so, we want to make sure we provide you with the best quality racing we can. So keep that in mind. Some people see that as a hindrance. I see that as a positive. If you've got a race control live in the session, you know, this is only a good thing. As long as you're behaving, you're under the radar. And right now, these guys are definitely going to have to behave. Keith Bradley and Phil Pappas are still going at it. They're basically just taking it in turns being in sixth place. But, you know, Lucas
Watch the 29 exit. Watch the 29 exit. Yep. Sorry, go ahead.
Lucas Whitehead, he's not managed to really capitalize on these guys fighting. Dean Doucette as well, the Canadian. He's there, he's hanging around, you know. All of these guys, you know, potentially got that chance at having the sixth spot, but, you know, they've got to get it done. And I do wonder as well, are any of these drivers being held back by this battle? Is this, you know, is this a hindrance for them? We're going to have to wait and see. The order will hopefully resolve itself soon. You can see here, Doucette having a little bit of a sniff. He thought about it, but not quite close enough as they head down into the chicane.
We're getting green pit stops as well too. Sorry, so the hiccup. Nate Mauer's going in at the moment. Remember, Nate Mauer running high up on the field as well. So I think this is exactly. DJ said as well in. So there it is. It's very hard to see that because that's a pit lane entrance. It's a very hard pit lane entrance. I suppose nobody's actually sped into pit road. Although I do think that Brady, we did see somebody go down to pit road earlier under our stage break that just drove through. There might have been a drive-through penalty, but. This is interesting. So now you're talking about who the hell?
Well, as we see Robbie Richards right there.
I was going to say, Robbie.
In that 48.
That's not the best place to exit that one. But anyway, MDW, here it is. The man that's been leading this race comfortably up the road there. It kind of reminds me of the man in Talladega Nights, right? The Frenchman, the actor, sitting there just sipping on a cappuccino or something like that, going, I'm very used to racing Formula One, not a problem. And I'll just chill on up the road there.
Yeah, that was Chris Blanchard. I got some chatter from is something about an EOL early on around the stage break, so I had to go with race control to see what it was. But I think they got it all cleared up or whatnot.
Chris
but
is back
yeah, it was something weird that happened.
Yeah, Chris Blanchard. I think somebody did drive through. We saw that anyway. Jody Set's going into pit road and
we saw somebody getting a wall right there, red truck behind Chris Cinnamon. I don't know who that was, but he cleaned the wall out right there.
He was definitely giving it a fresh coat of paint, but sadly the color choice was that of the truck. There you go. It was that red truck you just had.
I think it's Robbie Richards, if I'm not mistaken, real quickly.
No, Cody not. It was a red truck.
Don't do it to Cody. I know. I won't do it to Cody. Oh, anyway, let's go back to live action because Jeff Burke's going to pit road. So he's elected to go in, and then Adam Newton's following him as well too. You can't really see the best camera angles there because the camera's behind the fence, behind the pit garage, and so forth. But that means Jeff Burke's jumped first. Means Matthew Wood's going to stay up. You see them coming up on the jacks. That means going to be changing tires. Would you change tires? You'd have to change tires, wouldn't you?
Absolutely. Honestly, the amount of load that these tires have had to endure, even if they're showing that they've got a lot of life left, it could be beneficial purely just to try and get them cooled down a little bit. You know, the pit stop for tires, if you're taking fuel as well, often the tires, it doesn't really take that much extra. And then not only that, there's a psychological aspect of the fact that you have fresh rubber. You know, sometimes this can be a huge advantage. You see trucks absolutely piling it into pit road.
And I think
everybody's
Nate Mauer,
on the same strategy.
Yeah. Well, what are we looking at, gentlemen?
That was Brandon Brodford coming out right there as Adam Newton was exiting off pit road, and that was almost a collision right there.
So this is crucial, gentlemen. What do you do? You're MDW leading this race. Here he is. Hello, MD. Give us a wave if you want. Don't give us a wave.
You're going to see him pit right here.
All
he's
right.
coming. He's coming right now.
So he's gone. He's never gone down to pit road, actually. Apart from here it is. Here he is. So it's going to spot this perfectly, right? How difficult is this as a racing driver to get it absolutely spot on? Remember, every second is crucial. There, Mr. Brady.
Well, I mean, if you're under a blanket like we saw Phil Pappas, Keith Bradley, Lucas Whitehead, and those guys, you know, you got to hit your mark. But Matt, he's got a 22-second lead. Take your time, buddy.
I think he did good. I think he did good. Look, he's not reversing, right? He stopped it on a dime.
I mean, you got 48 seconds. You're great, man. Like, you know, just take your time.
Don't take a coffee. You know, you still want to lead the race because you could make a mistake later on. And then, of course, the crew got that. Did he take tires? It looked like he took tires. And on top of that, I wanted to ask you, my friend, like, it gives you a chance to scratch your nose, or at least maybe have a sip of water or something like that, right? You're in your racing rig. You've been in your racing rig for some time.
You're focusing. You're focusing, man. You don't let off. You might get a splash of some water, but you're focusing on there's 17 laps to go. I've got the truck to beat. I know that it's probably most likely 99% going green the rest of the way. Just don't speed on pit road coming in or going out. And he's pretty much got the race to himself. Just hit your marks. You can actually be conservative and save your tires if you wanted to with the big gap that you have. So I mean, that's the mindset that you have. You would think the 13 seconds on pit road gives you enough time, but all you're really doing is just checking your tire wear and seeing if everything's going accordingly that you planned for it to go.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say he's in a pretty strong position. It's risk versus reward. There is no incentive for him to absolutely try and push the envelope at that point. He's got a good lead. He's comfortable. Why risk it? Absolutely not. Jeff Merck, on the other hand, he does have things to risk it, but even then, 17 laps, 20 seconds, I'm sure he's got timing up as well. And at this point, the best lap, he's not been able to match MDW. The 143.5 compared to 144.8. He's quick, but he just doesn't have the pace. I mean, phenomenal racecraft, but you've got to try and catch a guy. You got to weigh up, is it worth it, to try and push the truck that hard, that long? Are you going to keep it on the track? Myself, if I was Merck in the 60 truck, I'd be saying pretty comfortably where I am. Just focus on pulling away a little bit if you can from Nathan Murray in the 971.
Absolutely not. Jeff Merck is going to want to win this race because he's going to essentially do it from last place to first. I don't mean to disagree with you on that one, but Jeff Merck, I mean, that's one trophy you want. I can win a race, right? Jeff Merck's won races before. He's well aware of it. But you want to win a race from essentially last, but remember the man couldn't qualify, right? So we're going to keep an eye on this battle at the moment. Out in Newton there, and Steve Thomas.
Newton's got the tire advantage right here. It's a fairly easy pass. Remember, Stephen Thomas was one of the first guys. I believe he's got 5 or 6 laps on his tires.
Okay, you see it on the screen as well, too. Exactly. He boxed. Well, this is the time that it took back in the pit road, but you can see there, Thomas had taken the extra pit stop. And then, MDW going back to that one as well, too. You see, 14.6 seconds was his pit stop. Merckx was 14.2, so it's really shaving nothing at the end of the day. But I don't know.
Jeff grabbed a second. During those pit stops, Jeff grabbed a second, and that's just, I believe, Matthew Wood being conservative, like I said, and there's no reason to, do anything out the ordinary or dumb to give up this win. It looks like that's Huck Wigginton right there in a double zero.
He's gone really slow into that corner. Like, this is the Laping, and then he's gone. I mean, of course, for our Starbase Comics, lovely sponsor as well. He's got wiggly out of the corner. I don't know why that's actually caused a little telemetry information. I think it's just fine. It's just, I guess they're not used to up here at race control. The car's going very slow out of Laping because it is a slow corner. Anyway, here's MDW. Now, where's Jeff Merck? Right here. Now, can you all out there in the chat there, I love you all following, of course. Yeah, all. Jeez, I sound like I'm from the deep south, but you can see, look at the way
you started to talk like me when I say y'all.
Yeah, you're from Louisiana, my friend. You are from the deep south. Jeff Merck up 23 positions. Give us an onboard lap day, and this is the fantastic opportunity that we have here at the moment there, Daniel, to have the boss man Brady, who is a race driver and a legend, and not just that, of course, he runs this league and does practically everything. Give us an onboard ride of this track there, my friend, from Jeff Merck's perspective.
Well, I've never taken a lap here. So,
all right, improvise it then, my friend.
Yeah, we're going to improvise. I mean, the biggest thing, like I said earlier, is the 124 track temp. I mean, it's just scorching these tires right here. Jeff, down brakes. It looks like, he doesn't really shift or anything like that. It looks like they're just taking it easy, staying in third gear, I believe, right here. And they're going to come down. I'm trying to figure out exactly where he is on the track. I see Nate Maurer right there.
Second sector, yeah, exactly.
Okay, so he's coming into this right-hander right here. And he's got a lap car of Cody Nutt right here. He doesn't want Cody right here. He wants to make this pass.
Yeah, he's going to get past Cody.
They're going to come down to this, and Cody lays over for him, which is the right thing to do. Coming down to the carousel right here, big braking zone. This is probably where you want to pass people if you are trying to make a pass, like we saw Keith Bradley, Phil Pappas, and that other bunch right there. That's where you want to make the pass at. And then you got to get ready for this long straightaway before you come into those little chicanes before the next straightaway, which is the start-finish line. But heavy braking zone. We saw Jeff earlier in the race make a ton of
Where do you
passes
spot it,
right
boss
here.
man? Where do you spot it? Where? Here?
There's a mark. There's
Oh.
a mark. You saw him. It was 3, 2, 1 right there. You find a mark on the sign, and as the tires wear off, you kind of back up that mark. But if it's on 2 where they start slowing down, he's going to back it up before that. He might be hitting 3 as the run goes on. So, but that's a lap around here in Montreal. I actually do not own the track yet. I was not scheduled to run tonight. So unless they put this on Monday nights, which I don't think we are for season 4, I'm just gonna have to wait and maybe turn some laps. It looks like it's a fun track though.
I mean, Daniel, you know it's a fun track, right? You've probably casted many of other races there. Go back to a little bit of a battle first, and for you to answer that question, because the Joker Joey Doucette's not joking around, of course. So Brandon and Ed Osborne, that's a battle further back here for 12th, 13th, and 14th here with 14 laps to go.
Well, I was just doing a little bit of research, a bit more on these trucks, and trying to get a context of what they, what they're all about. So it's just a 4-speed manual transmission, 15 by 12-inch tires. So that's 15-inch, big hole in the middle. That's actually quite small in today's standards, considering like you're rocking 20s and stuff like that. But 15s was more popular, I'd say, in the mid-90s. I remember my first car came with 13-inch Prem wheels, basically, and put 15s on, and it's scrubbed. But 12-inch wide, though, so, they're making up for the diameter and sheer width. There's some serious girth on these trucks. But horsepower-wise, 650 horsepower. But I've been under the impression these trucks are quite heavy. That would be my understanding. And they got a little bit of weight to them, but 3,450 pounds. Now, to put that into context, a Dodge Caravan is about 2,900 pounds. So, I mean, the thing's still got some weight. I'm just trying to find a really good reference.
Did you say a Dutch Caravan? I'm not quite sure anybody can. Anybody, please let me know what a Dutch Caravan weighs.
Dodge, not Dutch.
Oh, Dodge. Oh, okay, my apologies. Go ahead. Jeez, I was going to say, where do you live?
I'm just trying to find something that's about 3,500 pace. Oh, here you go. Nissan Altima is a good example. Hyundai Sonata, Subaru Legacy, that kind of bracket. So about the same size as a mid to large size sedan. Not bad.
All right.
That'll move.
Oh, the Joker Joey goes really loose in the out there. So does Ed, actually. Got probably caught off guard there, and Ed will get the speed difference down the casino straight. But then again, look at this, the Joker Joey. Well, does he have enough speed coming out of that corner? I'm not quite sure he can get the revs up there for the 16 machine. Not enough. Definitely not that far back. Even a Formula 1 car couldn't do it with DRS activation. There is a DRS activation down this main straightaway. Break it heavy, swing it over here. Watch the cars lift off their trucks. Bang! It's amazing to see it. You want to hit that chicane perfectly. You don't want to hit it too much, otherwise you'll be into that World Champions, which I'm surprised, actually, believe it or not, gentlemen. Not seeing anybody into that fence. That collects Formula 1 drivers. How does it not collect the fantastic drivers here at the C.O.P.S series?
Well, the difference, Dean, in the F1s or the Indy cars is they don't want to hit those curvings. They want to stay away from them, right? They don't want to lift their cars up. In NASCAR or Xfinity car, the trucks, you want to hit that curving because it helps rotate the front end of the vehicle. Because like Daniel said, they're so heavy. So when you hit that, when you put the left front on that curbing, it helps swing the back end of the vehicle around so that you can make that corner right there. You see Dean right there. So, and that's how you go fast around here. You got to go, as scary as it is, you got to hit your exits coming off to almost hitting the walls around here.
Well, there's another way as well you can look at it. Sometimes you want to make the chicane as straight as possible and as direct as possible, and sometimes hopping the curb is just the best way of doing it. Don't get me wrong, like you said, it is a little bit scary. Myself, I find some cars, curbs are definitely a no-go zone. The AMG GT3, I can remember being particularly a little bit haphazard over the curbs, but I gotta say, I've not tried it in the trucks, but it does look like a lot of fun. I would be up for it, and certainly if you've not seen anybody hit the World Champions, just let me go behind the wheel, and I am sure I can smoke the right wheel.
Well, at the moment, what are you thinking if you're running on Ed Osborne? DJ said, of course, he's a hometown favorite. Yeah, oh, he lifted. Why did it lift so much? Ed Osborne that we're riding on board with there, Brady. Oh, it's because Dean's made a big mistake out of the corner. And there it is. Did he predict that one? What happened? Brady.
Wow. Man, that's 2 mistakes. We saw Dean Doucette, the leader of the last restart last week at Darlington, miss a shift, gives the win away to Keith, and as you see right here, gets a little too hot. There was no really much pressure from Ed right there to make that corner, and he just gets hot coming off that chicane right there. Spins it around, and I mean, bravo to Ed. It's almost like Ed knew it. Maybe Ed put a little spell on Dean, got him all nervous and everything, make him spin out right there.
This could have been exactly where it was, wasn't it? There's a psychological warfare.
Yeah, it's the next one. They're going to go down the long straightaway right here, and it's the next corner.
Yeah, we're going to follow it, actually, because I believe this is something we need to actually capture. And I think this is a good thing, of course, that we have about esports, is the fact that we can actually see the battles that brew up. Sometimes you find on television, when you're watching replays, you're only seeing Chapter 3. Guess what, gentlemen? You're going to see Chapter 1, Chapter 2, and Chapter 5. Because there it is. Look at that. Hits that chicane. Do you think he was thrown off because of the speed that he was trying to defend?
Too much curb. You run that again, just a bit slower.
Yeah. I think you gentlemen mentioned that.
I think you took a bit too much curb on that.
This is almost scripted like a Hollywood, wasn't it? Because we were just talking about this exactly what it occurred.
Slower, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Let me go back a little bit.
He just gets in there too hot. Yeah, he just gets in there way too hot.
All right, let's go. We'll do quarter speed. Go ahead. So here he is. Remember, he's looking in his mirrors. All right, because he's been challenged.
Well, he just downshifted, and see how the RPMs right there are twitching?
Yep.
He's wheel hopping the rear tires right there.
So he spots the first apex and too much speed, right? Yeah.
Understeer. Followed by very abrupt oversteer.
Yep.
Well, that's natural to do, right, as a racing driver, like we do all in real life, and of course then it goes around. Probably that, and just as I spoke about drivers not making mistakes in the World Champions, right on cue, Dean, don't do it to me, the Dean of Deans. And, Matthew Wood, MDW's going to pit road with 11 to go.
Interesting time to make a pit. I was actually going to have like a toonie bet with, I'll translate, a $2 bet with you that Matthew Wood would beat Jeff Merck. But now I'm starting to think that maybe that bet wasn't a good idea. Now, is this a mandatory pit stop? Does he need to do this? Is he just doing a drive-through for penalty points?
No, he's already been in pit road. Ready?
I'm going to go find out. I'm going to go find out.
Oh, Brady, you can't come jump down there. You got to do it here from the casting. Oh, he's gone.
He's already gone. He's out.
Jeff Merck stayed out, of course. So, well, Jeff Merck, has he got enough to go to the end? That's going to be very interesting. What do you think out there in chat, please? You've all gone quiet. Please don't go quiet. I know that Daniel is from the United Kingdom. You know, we won't hold it against them, right? But anyway.
Don't make me come over there.
You're going to fly down now? I thought you already sent us down there as convicts, my friend. Here we go.
Oh!
We all live in a convict colony. Jeff doesn't, and Nate Mao doesn't, and we'll see how it's going to... You know, you want to bring puns, my friend? I'm all night long. Let's see how we're going to go, because we're going to the end, my friend. As Dawn comes out. Go on, Dawn, Merc. Come on, Merc. Yeah, Dawn, I was waiting for you out there, Dawn. The Dawn Star. And we love you supporting, of course, your man. That's leading this race. Jeff Merc is brilliantly driving. You should be proud at the moment. That's I realize why Dawn hasn't been in the chat. Because Dawn has been cheering her man on for the Blanchard's Towing number 60 machine, leading this race currently in the moment. And that's a pit stop made all the difference.
Hold on a second. Hold on. You're telling me a guy is winning a race, gone from like the last to first, and he's got a lady cheering for him. What is this person? We need to capture this creature, study them, and then figure out how we can replicate such a result.
Typical bloody British. Typical British. Oh, big battle brewing at the moment. They're thinking about that, maybe, because Keith Bradley is in a gaggle of traffic. Here we go.
Uh-oh.
Oh, this is not going to be... He's going to end up in tears at the moment if I get the right camera angle, gentlemen. Oof.
Hit the button, dude. Hit the button.
I can't hit the button at the moment. I hit the wrong button. I apologize. Here we go. Out of the La Ping. MDW, come out of pit road, but he's in traffic. He's in big-time traffic. That's Keith Bradley at the Animal Road.
I am wondering if he had to make that pit stop. Usually if you're using a fuel calculator, for example, you might miss 1 or 2 laps, but you wouldn't be short 10 unless he's chosen to pit earlier on, knowing that he isn't going to make it to the end. But it begs the question,
that's a mistake.
Yeah, a little bit too much curb, but it begs the question, though, is anyone else going to have to make a second pit stop? I wouldn't be surprised if we do. Jeff Merck may just be temporarily holding the lead for a little while, while MDW, is just kind of hanging out in 5th. His pit stop done, he's just got to bring it home to the end.
Do you think he's
It's a
underfueled?
bit wide there.
Yeah, he might have underfueled it specifically to get the power and the pace. But at the moment, he's in a hot zone. This is not where you want to be when you're leading this race right now, coming out there after your pit stop. And these are the Gaggle cars. This is costing you a ton of time out there, as Dawn said. Come on, Merc. You'll well rest that after a week in Cancun. Well, wow. Give me the pina coladas at the moment there.
Well, I got the info.
All right, here we go. Boss man's back.
You're gonna have to find Matthew David Wood maybe 2 laps prior to this.
We're watching him at the moment, but he's in a big battle at the moment because he came out of the pit stop there, boss man.
He got a meatball because he overshot turn 1.
Oh,
so
he's in trouble, right? He's in trouble right now. 9 to go. Whoa, he's
off
track
again.
MDW.
yeah, we're gonna have to go back and find it.
We will in a second, my friend. I just want to keep an eye on that current battle at the moment because it's all boring up. MDW's not giving up. Jeff Merck could have this one. I mean, Dawn Merck's come in to the picture there, my friend, because when Dawn comes to support, of course, Jeff Merck, you know you're all in trouble out there. Sorry for the other drivers.
My driving log as well, and all I can see is that I got MDW for driving slowly a couple of occasions, but I don't have, you know, an incident per se.
Hey, don't get Brady runs this league in this fantastic network. Don't give him too much work to do, my friend.
Well, no, I just know that coming right here, he passes the start-finish line where you see Stephen Thomas and Phil Pappas, and right there, turn 1. Let's see, they're taking the left-hander right here. He overshot it and hit the wall. So I'm thinking it's somewheres right there where he got into the wall, and it gave him a 5-minute meatball. So he had to go down there and serve and get his damage fixed.
How does hitting a wall give you a meatball? I'm really surprised about that one. We'll go back and actually have a look at the replay of that one. But yeah.
You could have wheel damage. You could have, if you hit the wall right there going over 100 miles an hour, you could definitely get some real damage.
Well, hitting the wall 100 miles an hour, you probably get medical insurance. As we're going to see Justin White completely past at the moment. Lucas is not even fighting that one. That's actually not Lucas, my apologies. Lucas is behind him. That's a lap car. And this is the hot zone at the moment. Stephen Thomas at the moment for Pappas. Stephen Thomas on the back there of Keith Bradley. Sorry, my apologies. Phil Pappas on the back of Keith Bradley. Keith Bradley's got the Jersey smoke on him. And that's a good battle that's brewing there between 5th and 6th, gentlemen. As Jeff Merck should be looking to this one. Don't go anywhere, Dawn Merck. Of course, you'd be happy at the moment to see your main winner. Chris Cash is out there. Just wanted to say, you guys keep up the great work. We always love tuning in. Let's go 33. Thank you very much for that. We do love, well, our entertainments, of course. Well, at least myself, of course, and Daniel. Welcome to the booth. Give us your thumbs up and thumbs down there on Daniel's work, because, you know, I mean, if he's British, don't hold it against him. I think he's doing a grand job.
Well, if it's a thumb down, I can promise you it'll be a finger up in your direction. That's the kind of stats you get here. But I was just checking out MDW's lap 44, sir, as Brady was saying. That's where it happened, and I'm not exactly sure what went on. I mean, it's an interesting incident for sure, but I can see how the meatball got flipped.
Could you see
All right,
if you could get it on lap 44?
Lap 44. Let me have a look. And once again, just referring to that was MDW, right?
Yeah,
Yep,
100%. I'm
right.
watching it now on my side.
I shall do that. I do have a little bit of a problem.
Keith Bradley right here with a sweet move. Oh, he overdrove the little kink right there. But he's going to take the spot from Phil Pappas right here. Move Bradley up to 5th.
Yeah, I got to be honest. When you've got the timestamp for that replay, keep it in the bank for a minute because the action is happening. Pappas, White, Whitehead, and I've missed one here. Bradley, my apologies. All 4 of them.
You had one job.
Going slob and knackers, trying to just get into that up to 5th spot now. The MDW's dropped off into 9th. So, you know, the stakes got a little bit higher, and these guys are definitely fighting a bit more. Only 7 laps to go. You know, you got to remember risk versus reward. I mean, they're having a fantastic battle. And for me, this has been the highlight of the evening so far.
Absolutely. This group right here from about 4th to 8th.
Setting
get away from
setting
each
it,
other.
setting it.
Justin White. And he's gonna make the pass. We'll see.
No, he'll scrub speed. He'll scrub speed big time.
Yep. Yep. Phil gets the.
In fact, it's going to be a big trouble from Lucas because you scrub so much speed. Remember, I said about this at the top of the hour. You've got to get the best exit speed you possibly can out of Laping because you've got the casino straight all the way down. That's why they call it the casino straight, my gentlemen, because you're gambling maximum risk, maximum reward as you make your way into the final couple of corners, and there it is, running outside. And you don't want to be stuck near the fence. Oh, he kept it safe. Justin White's not giving it up, gentlemen. And they're not giving it up with 6 laps to go.
Well, the downside is that pack has now spread out a little bit. Justin White and Lucas Whitehead are now 2 seconds behind Bradley and Pappas. So, you know, while it is fun to have a battle, sometimes you got to weigh up the pros and cons. And you see it even more in the oval racing. You know, you could try and take the guy next to you, but realistically, often you're better off working together, you know. Risk versus reward, like which position are you fighting for? Now, I know when I did the oval, that big special event I was part of, you know, it isn't my natural forte. Like, you got guys going, you know, high line, low line. Well, I just sent it straight down the middle, and I got a couple of cars tucked in, and people were just mortified, and I didn't care. I had a great time.
I'll tell you who's mortified right now. Nate Maurer, running in P2. He started in P2. He is in P2. Jeff Merck leading this race at the moment, but Adam Newton. Well, you want to split some atoms at the moment. You may be splitting Nate Maurer's P2 into a P3 because here comes Adam Newton on the charge. 6 laps to go. He's going, well, doesn't a champagne, and you know this for a fact there too when you're Brody, doesn't a champagne taste a little bit more nicer on P2 than P3?
Oh, most definitely. But, you know, I want to give a shout out to Stephen Thomas, who's running in 4th. He was running like 8th or 9th before those pit stops. He pitted before these guys by about 4 or 5 laps, and he's leapfrogged them. He's got 3 seconds on Keith Bradley in 5th, and so, you know, if Stephen Thomas comes home with a 4th place finish, it's going to feel like a win for him with that strategy that he was able to use.
Well, Stevie at the moment in P4, yeah, good on you, my friends. Got the animal Keith Bradley behind him, but more about this action, of course, at the moment there, isn't it there, Daniel? Of course, welcome along. Well, Friday, it's probably Saturday mornings there in the United Kingdom or Australia, wherever you're from. But you're welcoming along to the C.O.P.S Consistency survivors there. Jeff Burke, done and dusted. He's probably already cuddling his wife out there as he's celebrating and popping that champagne. But at the moment, who wants P2?
Well, I gotta think that, you know, Newton's got a good run in it. He's in a position of power right now because even though he's 1 down on the step, now it is always easier, I find, to follow than to be followed because it's often underestimated here in racing, both in sim racing and in racing on the, you know, in real life situations. But, you know, having the psychological edge against your opponent is a very tactical advantage. You're making them do all the work, potentially forcing an unforced error. And you can see there, you know, this guy is going to be very conscious of the 19 car, or 19 truck even, in his rearview mirror, and often by doing that you can miss a braking point, and then that's all it takes, and it's a freebie. You know, if this guy goes deep, sends it up pit road by accident, you know, that's it. You know, he's falling back. He's just got to weigh up the pros and cons. And, you know, don't get me wrong, Newton could try and force a move, but again, you know, how hard do you want to push? Myself, I would be absolutely riding this guy's bumper until the last lap, potentially making a move on that final turn before heading up to the chicane.
And we'll ask Brady DeBruff, of course, the boss man and also a previous champion that just missed out recently on the previous series. But Brady, you're in the shoes right now. You're in the racing gloves of Adam Newton. What will you do to get past Nate Maurer?
Oh, I mean, you're gonna fight for it, right? These are teammates, by the way, for Sick Within Motorsports. So I don't think you'll see each other, you know, run hard enough to where they put themselves in a vulnerable position or wreck or anything. You know, they want to put each other in a bad spot. But I mean, Adam Newton does look like the faster of the two. So I mean, you gotta take it. Every point matters. We've seen people not advance to the next round of the playoffs because of a tiebreaker, and it come down to best finish. So every point counts right here. Could be the difference between a second and a third place finish. So I'm looking for Adam Newton to do everything he can to get this one point right here for second place.
And Daniel, do you think there's team orders at play here? No Toto Wolff there and going, you know, well, Fernando is faster than you kind of situation back in Formula One?
Well, Fernando's faster than a lot of people on the grid, let's be real, especially a certain guy driving an Aston Martin who, you know, Daddy bought him the seat. I mean, it sounds cold. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it is what it is. But you know, it comes down to survival of the fittest. And you know what? Team orders is one of them awkward situations. Now, don't get me wrong. I think team orders can literally rule a championship. You know, if you are coordinated and working as a team, you can definitely have more success, especially if you are, say you have 2 team cars and you've got a couple of guys behind you, you've got one guy who's faster on pace. See, that's what I'm talking about. That was a good nudge of the wall there. But, you know, you can definitely play the scenario, you know, play the track to your advantage. Certainly, you know, push cars wider necessarily than they prefer to go. And it's all about reading the area and having good communication.
Oh, he's got to let him through, got him through. Oh, there it is, and that's it's very clever. You called it right now. Neymar had to slow. Oh, Neymar was called to stop there. What's happened to Neymar?
If you cut the course, you're going to have to give up time.
Slow down
so it's
from
probably, yeah.
Right. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. All right. Go ahead. Well.
Yeah, it looked like he just cut that corner right there.
So that's
he probably
battling
got
together
like
as teammates hasn't really worked because it's going to allow Keith Bradley's about 20 seconds to change down the road. At least I don't think he's going to be a threat. We'll go back to the battle, of course, with Justin White and Phil Pappas. So. Thank you, gentlemen. Adam Newton, of course, and Nate Mauer there for that entertainment. But unfortunately, that has foreseen itself. Further back in the field there, continue what you were talking about there, Daniel.
I was talking about the team tactics there, but you know what? We'll leave that for the minute. We've got Justin White chasing Phil Pappas. Now, Phil Pappas, he's definitely been getting a lot of screen time. You know, thankfully, he doesn't bill us by the minute, but... you know, maybe he's got somebody watching who does. You know, it's one of these definitely different opportunities here, but he's absolutely having a fantastic race right now. He's kind of in the middle of the pack between Stephen Thomas and Justin White, about a second gap between each side of them. So, you know, definitely getting to the point where the draft is going to become less and less beneficial, but certainly not out of the woods
That's Chris
yet.
coming in. Wow.
Well, I mean,
Anyway.
Chris was 3 laps down, so he might be fighting a damage issue too.
Does he realize there's 2 laps to go?
He might just feel like he's parking it for good. He can't lose any more spots either.
Oh, you got to finish the race, my friend. You got to see that checkered flag. I think that's the biggest accomplishment you could get. God, my words are just fumbling at the moment because I have this fake Australian in the commentary box trying to twist my words. But look at the battle at the moment. There's no fakeness between these gladiators going for it too for now. Stephen Thomas, Justin White, and Lucas, because I think the rest of the field was pretty much done and dusted and decided so far here for the fantastic race. Second, Gilles Villeneuve, the C.O.P.S Racing Series.
Well, it's been going smooth so far. There are definitely only 2 laps to go right now. Jeff Merck, I'd say he's got this thing down packed. Adam Newton, he's just too far back. He's 18 seconds behind. And the battle happening earlier between Newton and Maurer, well, that seems to have settled down for now. It's 1.7, 1.8 seconds. I don't see that getting any closer. As I look through the timing right now, the closest action is definitely between the 23 and the 2.
Sorry to cut you off there. The 8 was braking very, very late coming into the Laping. I was like, he could have just taken out the race later right now. Jeff, you wouldn't have been getting a Christmas card from Jeff Merck if you did that, my friend. And the 8 was, if I'm not mistaken, we'll go further up the field there. That's Mark Morton, actually. Believe it or not, that's a lap car, and that's P14 that Jeff Merck just lapped.
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, he's had good pace. You know, it's not by accident that he's gained 22 positions. And remember, with this being like more of an oval dominated series, you know, driving this around a road course is quite the challenge, and that's why you've got the barrier attendance as well. You know, drivers often, you know, they take one discipline and they tend to prefer it. Myself, I'm actually quite eclectic. I enjoy a little bit of oval, albeit not very good at it. I mainly do road, but also do a bit of dirt road as well. I actually had more success in dirt road than I have in quite a few, you know, and even in real life, rallycross, I've got trophies for that. You know?
Oh, really, Daniel? Oh, that's good to know that Daniel actually has that. Yeah,
legit.
You're probably good in the wet weather as well, too, considering that weather there in the United Kingdom.
Well, considering I live in Canada now, and that's where my motor racing
really?
achievements have been.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm in Nova Scotia.
Lovely. So,
again,
and then Brady, of course, bringing in this Canadian into the booth there. Fantastic job. Unfortunately, Canadians hasn't done too well. Dean Doucette's P13, Chris Cinnamon, Spiceman P19. But Jeff Burke, well, Dawn, be happy at that. You said you love you guys. We love you too, Dawn. And I'm pretty sure you love this man, number 60. He's only got a few more corners to go instead of win this race.
I've got to wonder as well, is there a special prize waiting for him when he crosses the finish line?
Oh.
Certainly not anything that we can put on air, but, you know, Jeff Merck, please enjoy the victory celebrations for sure.
Brady, believe that's the boss man right now. Come on, Brady. You want to call the end of this fantastic race? You've got a couple more corners to go, my friend.
Oh, well, I mean, this is about the last one, right, guys? This is the chicane he should be coming up on. I believe so.
Yes, sir, Brady.
And,
Come on, yes,
he's
two more
gonna...
corners. He's going. Oh, he's gonna almost do it. He's got so much time he can afford it.
It looked like he just wanted to take it easy right there. But Jeff, I mean, from last to first, he's gonna come across, take the checkered flag. Jeff Merck gets the victory and moves on to the next round, the round of 14.
Wow. Where do you do, by the way, where do you do burnouts in the road courses? Because we're used to the ovals, and then, I mean, you got to celebrate it, right? Jeff Merck does it. Adam Newton, of course, in P2. We'll wrap that one up there. Good job from him. Nate Mauer, of course, just dropped that one place. Nate Mauer has basically been Nate number 2. Unfortunately, Keith Bradley, the animal, dropped 1 place. Stephen Thomas, you got to remember this man, number 23. He's gained 6 places. I think you gentlemen were talking about him earlier on that one. Justin White, the P6 machine, will finish in number 2 machine will finish in P6. Phil Pappas started P7, finishes P7. Could go on that one. Lucas Whitehead. And we'll go through that grid actually in a second there. Just want to see if Jeff Merck is going to do a little bit of burnout there for the Dawn Merck out there in the chat.
Well, it's definitely awesome if you can have a partner that doesn't only support your hobbies, but actually gets into it with you, which is absolutely fantastic. You know, I'm actually a little jealous at this point. You know, doesn't just win the race. You know, he's got somebody who's interested in sharing that passion, which is, you know, truly mystical. So, power to him there. But definitely a little bit of a rough race for some of the guys. You know, I see a few people retired. Tyler Daniels, Raw Mazer, Chris Blanchard. Quite a few of them were out. Nathan Scott. You know. Actually, even higher up, you know, you got Brandon Broadfoot as well. So like 20th down to 25th, they all generally seem to have retired quite early. So hopefully better luck for them at the next event. But speaking of which, where are we going to be next, gentlemen?
We're going to Kentucky Speedway. We're going to the Bluegrass State Kentucky Speedway.
Oh, do I have the wrong one up here at the moment?
No, that was a mistype.
Okay,
people
sorry.
thought it was Kansas, but it's Kentucky. We are at Kentucky next week.
Oh, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore, right? Okay, fine. Sorry, Dorothy. You know I had to go there.
Oh, that's no problem. As we see, Jeff, it's going to come all the way back around because normally iRacing might DQ you if you try to do burnouts or whatnot. So he's going to come back around and he should be doing burnouts. So he'll probably do some donuts, maybe a little celebration right here. I mean, this is a big deal for Jeff. He missed last week.
Yeah.
Had to do the start and park, and now he gets the victory lane the following week. So
there we go. Jeffrey's got it, my friend. Good on you, burn him, my friend. Burn and turn, as they say in Talladega Nights. Turn and burn, at least. And he's turned to burn this one. And of course, this is a road course. This is not easy. But this man, 24 positions gained, essentially from last to first, says, hello, Canada. Welcome along. Jeff Merck's in town.
It's definitely a good night for him, for sure. But, you know, I think, for me, the best racing was definitely, you know, Phil Pappas. You know, he had such a fantastic battle. He was my most enjoyable one to watch. But as we can see here, we've got the results. So we're just going to go through them pretty quickly before we get down to the interview. So your race winner, Jeff Merck, the 60 car in first, with Adam Newton in second, Nate Maurer in third, followed by Keith Bradley in fourth, Stephen Thomas fifth, Justin White hitting sixth, having a good battle there with Phil Pappas and Lucas Whitehead in seventh and eighth. Matthew Wood led a good portion of the race, and obviously we never did get to that incident as well. Our apologies for that. That was on lap 44. Just as he came across the start finish, something went mysteriously wrong for him, and he ended up hooking it into the wall, meatball, and it basically ruined his night. So disappointing result there for Matthew Wood. Brandon Bullock there to close out your top 10 with Ed Osborne in 11th, followed by Joey Doucette, Dean Duquette, Mark Morton, Robert Richards, Cody Knott, Brian Chu, Jose Luis Riviera in 18th. And as we flick the page, bada bing, bada bump, and have a look at 19th. Thank you very much. We got Chris Cinnamon, the Spice Man. Definitely, he had a rough night, and Huck Wigginton in second. The following guys, definitely multiple laps down. You can see there we got 6 laps, 18 laps, 19 laps. Definitely not the night that they had in mind with, as I have a look here, it looks like Tyler Daniels must have crashed out on the first lap with Stephen Gregory, Hunter Parsons, he was race control, I believe, and Zach Hartwick not starting the race as well. So we're going to get over to the interviews. Brady, would you like to do the honor, sir?
Well, we will in a second after our fantastic sponsors, gentlemen. Please don't go anywhere. And of course, we will bring the boss man in there for the interviews. Of course, we'll bring everybody in here because in the chat, of course, MBW, not the happiest man on there. We'll talk about that. We'll even show it. Don't go anywhere, please. Come back and enjoy the show.
Starbase 1552 Comics. We sell everything a collector would want. Comics, Funkos, action figures, and so many more. A real American comic book shop. We are online only. Starbase 1552 Comics. Find us on eBay Auctions.
Okay, and we are back. We got some drivers in the booth. Don't get me wrong, we did charge them admission to get in, but we're going to start with Nathan Mara. He is our third place finisher in the 971 car. Nathan, definitely looked like a pretty consistent race for you, just down one from where you started. Tell us a little bit about your race strategy.
Race strategy was just to try to keep it on the track and finish the race. I never thought I would have started where I did, but only half the field qualified, so that's probably why I started so good. But never thought this is my first podium finish ever in a road course in Nazareth, and it's probably only because nobody really ran this track before. I ran here one time about 5 years ago, but I ran about 5 laps here last night just to kind of refresh myself. And yeah, there's no strategy. Strategy was not to let Jeff Merck win this thing because he had to win to get in. Well, he probably would have pointed his way in, but trying to keep him from winning, so I kind of raced him harder than what I usually race anybody. He's raced me hard before, so I was like, it's time to return that favor. Helping Matthew Wood get his first win in here, and once again, I guess he shot himself in the foot there and couldn't close it out. But happy with my P3.
Well, that was definitely a very to the point response. I got to admit that, and we're seeing your SpongeBob helmet and Buzz Lightyear coveralls. I got to say, points for sheer comic relief on that one. But the PR department phoned me. So what Nate was really saying there, he raced it 5 years ago, so that was experience, ladies and gentlemen. This man has been quietly, very covertly, well trained at the circuit Villeneuve. He's currently accepting sponsorship deals. If you want to speak to his manager, speak to Matthew Wood. He's currently available. He's going to retire driving the car after that. Less desirable finish, but no, obviously it went quite well for you. We did see you have a little bit of a battle there with Adam Newton, but you know what? Third place. Obviously, it was good, consistent fun. But is there anybody you want to thank?
I gotta thank my sponsor, DSR Electric, Dan Gobble over there. Jeff Sickles does a lot here for Swim Motorsports. Shout out to all my teammates. Shout out to Adam Newton finally. He had a really good finish here tonight. He needed it. He was below the cut line. So congrats to him. Good job to my other teammate Justin White finishing up there up front. Stephen Thomas rallied back there. Shout out to Brady running one hell of a league, and for you guys broadcasting this thing.
Well, he says that now, but just wait until he sees the footage a bit later. He's in for a shock. But I understand Brady has been catching up with our second place finisher, Mr. Adam Newton.
Yeah, Mr. Newton, you got a copy?
Yes, I do.
Oh well, man, we saw. You seemed like you ran like P4 quite long. You kind of ran third, and you ran fourth. Might even went all the way back to fifth. You kind of all of you guys kind of capitalize on Matt Wood's little mishap going into turn one and catching the wall. So you were able to, battle with Nate right there, capitalize, get P2. Tell us a little bit about from after the stage break. You guys have to go and get green flag pit stops done. A little bit about the green flag pit stops, and then after you and Nate get in that fierce battle, and you come on top out of the two.
Yeah, I kind of screwed the pooch coming into pit road. I was being a little too conservative. Much like Nate, I ran a ARCA race here, 100 lapper a couple years ago, and that helped quite a bit on the long runs. That allowed me to catch back up, get in a rhythm, and was able to run Nate down and just pace myself. That was the big thing. If you saved your tires, you could really drive in deep without getting super loose and could get a run off.
And after a P2 tonight, what does that do for Kentucky Speedway next week? How are you looking going into that race?
Too early to tell. I'm just glad the racing gods smiled down on me tonight because it's been a rough season for sure.
I gotcha. Well, before we let you go, is there anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, Brian Chew, Nate, good finish for him. Justin, good finish for him. Good comeback for Steven. Jeff Sickles, Dan for DSR Electric, love him to death. Millie's Restaurants, LPP Race Cars, A's Lawn and Landscaping, Jersey Smoke Shop, Family Handyman, Darren's Nail Gun and Repair, LaDan Co., and we cannot forget Adam Newbert for getting us all together and stuff, and maybe we can throw some shrimp on the bobby.
Awesome job. Well, congratulations on runner-up. We'll see you next week at Kentucky Speedway.
Yeah, thanks guys for everything you did.
Thank you.
Adam Newton, I'm going to give you some bloody kangaroo on the barbecue after doing that one. Good on you, my friend.
Yeah, well, that was Adam Newton. And Daniel, I think you're catching up with the man of the hour. That's Jeff Merck, our winner tonight.
Well, Jeff, what an absolutely incredible show you put on. 25 positions gained. It's fair to say that you were... I don't think you drove well tonight. I think it was a pretty poor performance. I expected more. But absolutely fantastic drive. Now, please tell us, what pixie dust did you put in the fuel tank of this Silverado?
Well, I would first and foremost, I would like to thank Hunter Parsons for giving me that EOL. He said he was going to enjoy it immensely, but we've been razzing each other for the last couple of days about that EOL. So first and foremost, I have to give big, huge shout out to Hunter Parsons because I know he's going to go back and watch this to get a laugh out of that. So, yeah, you know how the old saying goes. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good, and that's what happened with Matthew David Wood. He just can't seem to close the race out, and I capitalized on that tonight and won the race.
Well, it was definitely, I thought he had it in the bag. I was going to put a bet on with our director Dean here that Wood would have got you, and it's fair to say I would have been having to chop some wood to try and pay for it at this point. But what a phenomenal drive! Like, I gotta say, in an oval focused series, I'm inclined to wonder if you're kind of like a little bit of a wolf in sheep's clothing at this point, because you just absolutely dominated this circuit. And then I look at your I rating in the standings as well. It says 801, and I'm like, yeah, right. So Is there any other, like, obviously we can see the decals on your truck, we might have to add one for like false advertising potentially, because you are really the wolf in sheep's clothing in this case. But did you put in like a lot of practice laps? Do you secretly like road as well? I mean, this is a safe space here. You can admit that.
I mean, the only time I run road courses is when the leagues go to them. I absolutely hate road courses. I don't know if this one just fit my driving
are you
style.
kidding me? You hate road courses and you just gain 24 positions? Come on there, Jeff. You can't. I mean, Dawn's out there at the moment going, well, if you don't hate road courses at the moment, you'd be cuddling your wife at the moment because she knows you are doing a solid job.
Yeah, I dislike road courses. Me and Keith kind of came in last night. I probably ran 30 or 40 laps, just kind of picking his brain with stuff. And that did help me out a lot with braking. And then I figured something out right before we went green with the brakes. And then I gave that over to Keith. And then that kind of helped him a little bit. So we kind of bounce ideas. Me and Keith, we bounce stuff off of each other. I mean, really, I had a second place truck tonight, I think. Adam definitely had the truck to beat, but he just, it's very easy to lose focus on this track, probably especially when you have like a 38-second lead. You almost like fall asleep. And then you wake up and you're barreling off into a corner in third gear, and your braking point was a mile back up the road, because I almost did it a couple times. So it's real hard to stay focused on a track like this, especially if you have a real big lead like that.
Well, I have to say, not Adam. Sorry to cut you off there for a second, Daniel. You continue this one. It wasn't Adam, because MDW was the one that was right up the road. He was your target, my friend, and apparently...
Matthew David.
Yeah, he got the slowdown. I mean, it was good, because Jeff Merker, you were cruising through that field like 929 stock exchange. And then after that, you got to those Top Guns, and MDW was your target. MDW was going to hold you behind. Then he apparently, what we heard, and we'll show that soon, got the slowdown for track limits or whatever specifically. But it was between you and him, my friend. I've ultimately got the prize, but I would love to see you guys show down the final 9 laps of the stage.
Yeah, I would have, I would have liked to have it, we got a little bit closer together. We kind of got to fighting for like second, third, fourth there for probably 10 laps. And that really allowed him to like really get away. And I think a lot of us burn our stuff up racing each other. So, I mean, that helped him out a lot. But man, like I said, I missed last week down in Mexico. I mean, maybe that's what it was, that
the pina coladas.
That tequila helped me on road courses. They like road courses down there, so maybe some of that wore off on me.
You swallowed the worm, didn't you, my friend, the Jeff Merck?
Oh,
All right, I see how that went, my friend.
Yeah.
Arriba. Rapido, Jeff Merck, you get the race win. I live in the Spanish-speaking countries, my friend, so if you were to go
and now my wife's going to be real happy, because I got old Dino to talk for about 5 or 10 minutes, so she's going to be very happy.
Ooh, keep an eye, Dawn.
Yeah, she likes the always give her an oi oi oi.
Yeah, an oi oi oi. Of course, I mean, I tell you what, there, because Daniel's a fake Australian as well too in the chat there. But I would have loved to see that showdown, obviously with you and MDW, because you two were the top guns of this track. But Jeff Merck, really, you were driving past these drivers like you were Max Verstappen, Ayrton Senna, all the great drivers in the past. You're just driving past them in the road course. What is your secret to success?
I think it was what me and Keith found with the brakes. I think we could outbrake them into the corners. I did get what's his name was saying. I'm sorry, my memory is just shot these days. Like Maurer was saying, we were racing each other pretty hard. There was a couple of times where, I would get to their inside coming into that last set of S's there, and I'm like, okay, they're going to back out and give it to me because I have the preferred line. We're going into the S's. There's no way they're going to take me in there side by side. And sure enough, we go in there side by side, and then, you're like, got a death grip on the wheel. But my main focus coming in was I missed a week. I did a starting part. I either I have to get a good points night. So when I got up there, I just kind of started riding to protect where I was at because I'm like, okay, I got stage points in both stages, and I'm running second. So that would probably put me back in the top 14 with my playoff points. So I was kind of really focused on, okay, I got a 6 or 7 second lead over third place. Just ride. Keep the car going in the same direction. Don't jump a curb and knock a tire out of alignment and get a meatball. Stuff like that. I had all that stuff going on in my head, and it was just more points racing the night, and the wind just fell in my lap, really.
Daniel, words for the man that's annihilated the field?
Well, I think at this point, Jeff, I would say go and enjoy the spoils of your victory. I've got to say, the fact that you've managed to not only go from last to first, have a race win, and then you have a wife that supports you and shares a passion in your interest. I don't know how you've discovered such a creature, but please capture her. Let us study her so we can then replicate her. Anybody who's heard of the Crazy versus Hot Matrix will understand that reference as well. But before we go, Jeff, is there anybody you want to thank? Obviously, Dawn, number one. I'll just save you from the bus there. Dawn's number one.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, 100,000%, like you said. My smoking hot wife inside who has a passion for my passion. I don't think she has a passion for my passion, but she has a passion for something that I have a passion in.
Oh, keep it clean, it's PG.
Baby, I love you.
Boy.
Baby, I love you. You know that. Thanks for rooting me on the road course. I know you were like, well, I'll tune in to see where you're at. And look where we ended up, baby. We're in victory lane. So big shout out to her. Blanchard's Towing and Recovery. Great guy. Can't say enough great things about Blanchard. He's a great dude, and I consider him a friend. Concerns of police survivors, cops. Always a big shout out to people that look out for the cops in the community. National Racing Network 360. Dean and Daniel up in the booth. You boys sound good as always. I'm always looking forward to going back watching the races. Dan's top-notch heating and cooling. Keith and Brady and all the guys that run the league, they do a great job. Pulse Poppers, Butt Kicker, trying to see who and all else is on the truck. A's, NRE. Looks like maybe, I'm not sure what
Up front, you got there. Come on, my friend,
DSR Electric. A's looks like tree trimming service or something like that. Up front Motorsports, all my teammates over here at Up Front, Keith, all the guys, Chris, Cinnamon. God, there's so many of them I lose track.
Blanchard's.
If I see their name. Well,
I don't think you can handle the double D's in the booth there, Daniel.
Yeah, just like, yeah, I got old vomit mouth here. Ed Osborne, Joey Doucette. There's a great group of guys over there that we cut up, but when it's time to get serious, it gets pretty quiet in there. So, man.
Jeff Merck, we need to get you in Formula One at the moment. If you can handle these
let's go, baby.
road circuits like this.
We might have to talk if you set me down in a Formula One car and all that.
Yeah, Daniel's got all the connections at the moment. Talk to his agent.
12,000 pounds of downforce, so you don't even have to lift in those things. Just turn the wheel.
I gotta ask, Jeff, for my own curiosity, how old are you, sir?
How old am I?
Yeah.
Man, you're ask a
racing driver that question.
You're gonna make me admit that I'm over here whooping up on these young guys, huh? I'll be
60.
I'll be 52 in August.
Oh,
damn!
You're 8 laps shy to that one.
Yeah, he was pretty close though. Yeah, 52. I'll be 52 in August.
Well, guys, on that note, we can see that this old dog definitely has some new tricks. Absolutely having a fantastic race result. Jeff Merck, everybody, well done. And obviously the kind support of Dawn Merck as well. Thank you for tuning in. But we're going to start wrapping this one up. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been the C.O.P.S
series. We got some beef, but because I do want to go back to this lap 44 incident. And please stay with us for a second if you don't mind, Jeff Merck, because we need to collaborate what happened with MDW, because this is what caused the instigated the essentially a lap a slowdown, right? Because I'm going to try to find it with MDW. I do apologize because I don't have any specific incidents that's been mentioned on the screen, but I think we need to get this one because MDW was leading. Right.
Going into turn 1.
I'm going to try and find lap 44, gentlemen, so bear with me on that one because I've got to... Nothing's highlighting this one. I mean, this is lap 39, essentially. He's going to pit... You go pit road 39, right? This is MDW, so it will be... I mean, hang around for a bit. Honestly, this is very important because it's important for MDW, who was leading this race a long time.
Oh, yeah,
right?
For like...
I'll try to skip it a little bit. I'm not used to doing this really on a broadcast booth, but I do think it's important because he led the majority of this race doing a solid job. And we need to find out specifically what caused the incident that eventually got him that slowdown, right? Or the penalty. You'd like to elaborate.
Well, what happened is he got a meatball because going into 1, he basically tire hopped, hit the wall, damaged the truck, went in, got the meatball cleared, which for people that don't know, I'm talking about a meatball. It's a black flag with an orange circle, means you got required repairs that you have to do. So he went in, which probably knocked one of the tires out of alignment, which is normally 28 seconds of required repair.
Right, he's got traffic at the moment here. You can see in the replay, he got screaming past that traffic because remember, he was leading this race at this point. Yeah. This is a 29 machine. And you could probably, you know what, we're even in luxury at the moment there, Jeff. You can call this one. I mean, it's sped up at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but that's because we're covering a few laps earlier. If you let me know if we get closer to, oh, you haven't even seen this because you were driving in the background, but
yeah, that was a giant wheel hop right there, which you have to be careful of what we call the turtles.
Oh, so it's gone deep into this corner.
That's not a cut through. That's just him over driving the corner, trying to get through lap traffic.
All right, continuing.
That's all he's doing there.
This is just good because I want this to be on air because MDW was, a solid job.
Oh, I mean, he was absolutely dominating this race, no doubt.
And you're hearing this from Jeff Merck. This is won this race as well, too. So I tell you that, what a congratulations. But I just want to see what specifically, there's a lockup. Ooh.
Yeah, that's probably a slowdown. Me personally, I don't know why he's driving that hard with the lead he had. I mean,
what was the lead actually, if you don't mind me?
Oh, I mean, when I looked up at one point, I mean, he was, I think he was 30 seconds ahead.
Right.
So I mean, it's.
He's in a ton of traffic, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, you just wait for them to make a mistake in front of you and then capitalize. Because I mean, you could run. I mean, with.
I was just wondering if that was it that caused it. Perhaps that might have been.
No. The thing that caused it was. Yeah. What lap are you on now?
I have no idea, my friend. Sorry.
Oh, Lord.
The telemetry does not tell me this. Oh, he's completely cut through.
That right there is a cut through. That there's like, that's a 4-second slowdown.
Oh, the World Champions. Oh, that's going to hurt.
So he really slows here. Who's passing him right there? What trucks are those?
I don't know, my friend. Sorry, at this point in the replay.
Oh, you can't see. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a ton of cars.
I was looking to see if one of those was Keith Bradley.
Yeah, I think it was Keith Bradley, actually, if you look at that one, gentlemen. But yeah. At
this point. This was probably after he had. Right. This is probably after he had the damage.
Right. What damage, buddy? He didn't hit anything. Oh, yeah, he might have hit something.
Oh, no. Right. Yeah, the reason he had to go down pit road was because he had a meatball. All right. That's the first time he went down, and he came out in fourth place.
Okay.
And then after that, he was really, really driving it over his head. And then, trying to make up the ground. And then he got a cut through and then had to slow down. And then he dropped back to...
Well, fair enough.
I think it was 9th place. I think is where he ended up finishing.
He did actually, MDW finish in 9th place. You're correct on that one. But you finished in 1st place, my friend. But thank you very much for that because I just wanted to clarify it because he did a solid job. And, sometimes you don't get to hear from those drivers that don't finish on the podium. I think it's very important on that one. And Jeff Merck, an honor as well for you to be in the booth there and even call that one, even though you're on the racetrack at the same time. And so,
you're right.
Daniel, over to you to call the rest of this one, my friend, because what a Friday night it's been.
Oh, it's certainly getting late where I'm at. We're For anybody who's in the Atlantic time zone, there are very few of us.
Australia.
It's about 20 past 12 at night, but that's all good. Just filling in for Mr. Robert Hill Jr. tonight. He's going to be your regular commentator, but we'll go over the results very quickly. Obviously, we got Jeff Merck, the man, the legend, the one and only, the 52-year-old rocking the 60 truck. Absolutely sending it there in first place. Adam Newton in second with Nate Mara in third. That closes out your podium with Keith Bradley fourth, Stephen Thomas fifth, Justin White in sixth with Phil Pappas and Lucas Whitehead in seventh and eighth. Matthew Wood in ninth with Brandon Bullock closing out your top 10. Ed Osborne in 11th with Joey Doucette and Dean Duquette in 12th and 13th. Mark Morton in 14th with Robert Richards there in 15th. Cody Knott in 16th with Brian Chu in 17th. Didn't really see too much of him during the show, I'm afraid. Jose Luis Riviera, he is there in 18th. As we have a look at 19th now as well. Chris Cinnamon, the Spice Man himself, one of the Canadian drivers, definitely not having the night he looked for. 6 laps down off the leader in 19th with Huck Wigington in 20th. That closes out your top 20. We'll just quickly battle through. Actually, you know what? No, we won't. 18, 19, 26 laps. The early retirement committee. So certainly a early walk back to them for the pits as well. But you know what? It's been a fun night. First time here in the NASRA booth. Here hanging out with Dean and hanging out with Brady a little bit as well. And also Jeff Merck. He's still here. That's all right, Jeff. We don't mind. We don't charge admission for this section of the show. But as we see here as well, we got the track temperature incredibly hot. Really hot. I don't know who Jacob Reeves of Robert Hill is, but that's okay. You know, we filled in for him tonight. One of the few Canadian tracks we got on the iRacing service, and yeah, you guys got to enjoy it. Now you can see the Montreal River there in the background. Obviously, point standings will be having an effect. This graphic will be updated shortly. That'll be a Brady problem, and you guys, I'm sure, who are following, probably understand it a lot better than me, but you know, Jeff Merck able to get some much needed points. You can see him at the bottom of the list, at the bottom of the Sweet 20 there. Well, I don't think he's going to be at the bottom anymore, not with a result like that. Fantastic donuts as well. I've got to say that was pretty good. But you know what? It's been a fun night, and we thank you all for tuning in. Don't wait for it. If you want to join in, obviously, you know how to reach us. Look up the NASRA group on Facebook, send them a message, and you know, one of the admins will be in touch. If this looks like a lot of fun, sure, why not come join us on the track? But you know what, it's been a fun night. We're going to close it out. Thank you for watching the C.O.P.S Truck Series here with NASRA.